Does get off to good starts in football games. They scored on their first possession in 5 straight games. They haven't gone against a defense quite as good as Nebraska, though. But it would be a huge boost to this hometown crowd if they could get off on a good start here today.
A lot of their hopes lie on the arm of that young man there. Zebby Lethridge, number 8, the quarterback. Okay, we're ready for the kickoff.
I don't see anything else coming out of the air.
No, not yet. Just a football falling from the sky now. That's Chris Brown's kickoff through the back of the end zone. And Texas Tech will start off on its own 20-yard line. Zebby Lethridge is completing just 43% of his passes, John, but that's kind of misleading when you look at the last few games.
He's playing a lot better, completing 55% his last 3 games. He's a big concern because this is by far the most mobile quarterback this Cornhusker defense has faced so far this year. And I think to beat Nebraska, he has to create a lot of plays outside of the concept of the offensive plays. On the other hand, he can hurt this team by trying to do too much outside of the offense, too.
That's one of the things that head coach Spike Dykes has to look out for. Texas Tech has a very fast pace and tempo on offense, and they come out on 1st and 10 with 4 wideouts. Byron Hanspard's a lone back, and they hand it off to him, and he fumbles it. Nebraska could take it in for a touchdown. Just like that, Terrell Farley. That's exactly what the coach, Spike Dykes, didn't want to happen.
So many teams, when they go against Nebraska, just play completely outside of themselves and do things that are uncharacteristic. Hanspard gets the ball in the inside trap, right up the middle. Let's see who gets a hand on it. Penetration from the inside. It looked like Jason Peter, number 55, got his hand on it, and Farley picks it up and goes right in and scores first play of the game. 12 turners this year for Nebraska's defense. Look at that, 56 points off those turnovers.
There is a stunned silence and disbelief here at Jones Stadium. The sellout crowd of over 50,000 can't believe what they just saw. And neither can their head coach, Spike Dykes. On the first play of the ball game, Heisman Trophy candidate Byron Hanspard coughed it up on the hit from Jason Peter, and Terrell Farley, who was suspended earlier this year, brought it in for the touchdown.
Oh, take another look at it, Mark. Yeah, you can see 55 Peter gets his hand in there, beats his blocker inside, knocks that ball out. You know, and your best football player makes a mistake on the first play of the game. It has a real deflating effect on your entire football team. And speaking of best football players, that guy Farley makes this defense go for Nebraska. They missed him in that game against Arizona State.
Yeah, they sure did. He's 6'1", 205 pounds, a senior, and a Butkus candidate. Unbelievable, really, on the first play of the game.
Makes Tom Osborne look like he's clairvoyant to kick off, doesn't it? And
sure does.
Think that his team's going to get a turnover and score on the very first defensive play?
Well, if you just tuned in, folks, this is not the opening kickoff. We've only played 7 seconds. Nebraska kicked off just moments ago. Texas Tech started with the ball on the 20. Hanspard coughed it up. Farley went in for the touchdown. And we're going to do it all again with Chris Brown kicking off. Stacy Mitchell and Clint Robertson are back deep. It's going to be interesting to see just how Texas Tech reacts to this adversity. Brown has a strong leg. And where have we seen that before? Just moments ago, he kicked one 8 yards deep. Let's do this thing again, John.
Okay. Well, you know, one thing Texas Tech can't do is do anything outside of their normal game plan. They have to play the way they designed this football game offensively today.
The Chili's backs and receivers. Byron Hanspard, who fumbled just moments ago, very quiet, very self-effacing. And I'm sure that with his poise, albeit just a junior, he'll recover. Look at the offensive line.
Ben Kaufman, good left tackle. He's got a great matchup today, going against Wistrom there on the right side.
Morris and Hanspard out of the eye. And they give it right back to him. Hanspard running between the tackles out to the 24-yard line, tackled by Jason Peter. A look at the front 7 of Nebraska.
Grant Wistrom leads this team with 4.5 sacks. These ends, Tomich and Wistrom, really make this defense go.
Ralph Brown, the freshman cornerback, he's been picked on a little bit this year early.
And I think he'll get tested today. They want to run out routes against him early in this football game. So let's look for some of that from Zebby Lethbridge.
It is 2nd down and 6. Hanspard getting 4 on 1st down. Little option package. Lethbridge was down before he coughed it up. He'll be about 2 yards short of the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down, about 2 to go. Look at the team comparisons. Offensively, Tech 451.5. Nebraska's defense very stingy and staunch.
Well, you're looking at the number 17 offense in the nation against the number 7 ranked defense, so it's always a good matchup, especially rushing the football and defensive rush. Both of these teams are ranked very high in that category.
John, it is 3rd down and 2 on Tech's 2nd possession of the ball game. Backs out of the offset eye. Hanspard, and he won't have the 1st down. Stopped up on the right side. He ran over Scherler and Dunn, but ran into Winstrom and Peter. So the big red-black shirts hold on the 2nd possession, and Spike Dykes' team will have to punt.
That's unfortunate for Spike Dykes, too. I know Osborne is happy about his defense so far in this game. The one thing they wanted to do is run right at that speedy defense in Nebraska, and they had success on 1st and 2nd down. No success on 3rd down, so they're forced to punt.
Jeremy Hernandez is standing on his own 13-yard line for Texas Tech. At the 41, and brought down right at the 45-yard line. Octavius McFarland, a 4-yard return on the 31-yard punt, just underway. Stay with us.
Kickoff fielded by number 4.
Joining us, here's what happened on Tech's first play of the game. Byron Hanspard fumbled, and Terrell Farley scooped up the loose pill and took it into the end zone. It is now 7-0, and Nebraska has the ball on its first offensive possession, starting with very auspicious field position at the 45-yard line. Scott Frost is the quarterback, and he takes the snap. On the counter, Amon Green with a gain of about 1. Scott Frost is from Wood River, Nebraska, 6'3", 215, a junior, completing just 49% of his passes. And our Chili's backs and receivers, Amon Green missed last week because of turf toe. He had a great week of practice, and he is ready to go. There he is, number 30, and there's the offensive line that he'll be running behind. Aaron Taylor, an All-American candidate, and this is Amon Green out over midfield on Tech's side of midfield, falling forward at the 49, brought down by Monte Rager.
Well, one of the things Dean Blevins is going to chart is that the Nebraska offense averages about 7.6 yards on 1st down. Red Raiders had a good defensive stand on 1st down. Now they put Nebraska in about a 3rd and 5 situation.
John, 3rd down and 4, trips left formation for the Huskers. A single back set. On the option, Green gets a block, and he's right near the 1st down marker. It's going to be close. Let's take a look at the Red Raider defense. Dane Johnson made the tackle. He's the free safety on that last play. A look at the front 7.
Yeah, Robert Johnson only weighs 194 pounds, but he flies around and leads this defense in tackles.
And the secondary came up with a couple of big plays last week. A couple of interceptions. Tony Darden had one of them. Dane
right.
Johnson, another leader.
In the 4th quarter to turn that game around against Kansas. But Dane Johnson, I think he's going to be a key today. He has to prevent the breakouts by these Nebraska I-backs. Right there, he was in on that play. If you can limit this team to 5 yards instead of 50 yards, you're going to be in the football game.
What's happening to you out there, all right? Pass those calls.
That's Unbehagen, the offensive line coach, a Marine, Vietnam vet. Great coach. Does a terrific job with these offensive linemen.
You've got to feel what you can do in that situation. Okay?
And see, his calm demeanor belies the fire that burns inside of him when he coaches his guys. But I wouldn't keep that mic on him too long. This might, we might have a few expletives here pretty soon.
It's a family show. 11:33 to play in the first period. Nebraska getting the 1st down on that run by Amon Green. 1st and 10. Nose of the ball at the Texas Tech 45-yard line. Schuster and Green out of the eye. Frost on the option, pitches to Green. And they played the option well that time, John. A loss of about 2 yards on the play. Johnson and Rager making the tackle.
Yeah, let's watch Monte Rager. I talked about the penetration. I talked about speed defense. Number 34 comes in across, plays off his block, hold it there second, and then he just accelerates to the football. Watch the speed that this defense has. The closing speed into the backfield of that Nebraska defense. It's hard to operate the option when there's that much penetration.
2nd down and 11, the counter. Nebraska has run 5 plays so far. All 5 of them have gone to number 30, Amon Green, who comes up limping this time on that left leg.
That's that turf toe again. You know, he was out a game and a half, hurt it against Kansas State, and that's the kind of thing that can really bother you.
That means that Damon Benning, number 21, comes into the backfield now on 3rd down and 7. A look at the team comparisons. Nebraska offensively, Tech defensively.
Nebraska offense 18th in the country. They move the football.
Frost delivers a strike, complete, near the 1st down marker to John Vedral, the 5'11", 205-pound senior. And the fans booing because of the spot, I think, that time. He appears to be about a half yard short of the first.
Vedral's going to work up here and come right inside. Texas Tech plays man-to-man defense. They bring some pressure up front. And let's see if we can help out with that spot. Yeah, it's just right inside of that yard mark. That's an accurate spot, Mark.
John, 4th down and short. Tom Osborne deciding to go for it. Scott Frost, a mobile, agile quarterback, has the 1st down at the 34-yard line. Getting a good surge over that center, number 67, Aaron Taylor. And it's a 1st down for the Cornhuskers.
Well, if you want to run the football, go behind your 2 All-Americans. Aaron Taylor right here and Chris Dishman right here. They're just going to surge forward, wedge blocking. And nobody from Texas Tech is really in a position. The linebackers, they fill late. You can see them filling late right there. I wonder why more teams don't set up to stop the sneak on 3rd or 4th and short.
Yep. Interesting point. Excuse me, down to the 30-yard line, actually down to the 29.
Zebby Lethbridge is another guy who is going to quarterback sneak a great deal because he's such a good athlete.
Nose of the ball just inside the 30. It'll be 2nd down and 5. Ace formation, 2 tights, 2 wide, single back set. Back pops it up. And Texas Tech takes one back.
I think Monte Rainer got it, didn't he? 34? Yeah.
And that gets the crowd going here at Jones Stadium.
That adds definition. That is new meaning to the word cough it up, doesn't it? That ball definitely got cut. It's a full block here. Dishman's going to come around. This is a very common play that they like to run here at Nebraska. But let's see who gets their hand on the football. Right there, just coughs out. Somebody through the right side came through. Daniels, 86, looks like he got a hand on it. Big turnover for the Red Raiders.
Yeah, only Nebraska's 7th turnover of the year. Give them something to cheer about. We'll be right back. They hit the snooze bar today, huh?
I'll tell you, it is hard to work your way through that Big Ten schedule. There are just too many good football teams that come along at some point in the season to get you.
Jim Coletto, the head coach of Purdue, has got to feel good about going up against his former team where he used to coach and doing well so far. Hanspard, the deep back in the eye. 1st and 10, Texas Tech at the 24. Nebraska coming with a blitz, and Zebby Lethbridge is lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. Jeff Ogard making the tackle. They came with a corner blitz that time, putting pressure on the quarterback, who stepped up. Lethbridge can improvise, but he had nowhere to go that time. It'll set up 2nd down and 11.
You know, that had to be a quarterback draw. I'm looking, and he's looking at the left side of the football field. There were no receivers out on that side of the field.
They hand it off to Hanspard. Hanspard powering his way out over the 25, out to the 28-yard line. Be about 7 yards short of the first down. Jason Peter and Mike Minter, the strong safety, making the tackle for the Cornhuskers.
You can see a lot of the runs so far for Texas Tech has been right at this defense. There's so much speed sideline to sideline that the coaching staff basically feels the best way to attack them is to go right at them.
Hanspard, 6 feet, 193 pounds. The coach is telling us that he's improved running between the tackles this year, as opposed to just running on the perimeter. A little movement on the offensive line. On 3rd down and 6. Folks, tomorrow ABC Sports brings you Major League Soccer's first championship game. LA Galaxy against DC United. Tomorrow live at 3:30 Eastern Time. Our referee today, the man wearing the white hat, Randy Crystal. Sets up 3rd down and 11 after that penalty against Texas Tech. One more look at our officiating crew. Lethbridge to pass. A catchable ball by Sheldon Bass. It was slightly behind him, but there's a flag down on the play.
He might have got roughed on that play. I got a feeling that Grant Wistrom got called for personal foul, roughing the quarterback. I thought the offensive line did a real good job in pass protecting for Lethbridge. And the ball appeared to be tipped, too. But that's a good break here for Texas Tech.
They have not enjoyed a lot of success offensively here in the early going.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, automatic, first down.
And that is their first down of the game.
Watch Big 98 coming in from the right side. Lethbridge again, he gets good protection. See his right tackle, Scherler, doing a good job for him. Then all of a sudden, there's that late hit and that push down by Wistrom, and that's the penalty.
Hanspard, Byron Hanspard out to the 45-yard line. That time running for about 6 between the center and the guard. Jeff Ogard, number 97, making the tackle for Nebraska, the 6'6", 310-pound senior. Hanspard, an ordained minister. And he is as unselfish as they come. Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins for an injury update.
Guys, good news for Zanuck and Nebraska. I'm behind the bench now. The trainers have been looking at his right ankle. It's stable. They're retaping it. He will re-enter. And also I-back Amon Green will re-enter with an aggravated turf toe.
Here's another I-back. Hanspard on 2nd and 4. Run out of bounds right near the first down marker by Michael Booker, number 20. And he's close to the first down.
Well, I think Byron Hanspard is at the point now where he can relax a little bit. You know, when you have a mistake like that early in the football game, you get a little flustered, although this guy in his undying belief in the Lord is pretty much unflappable. Not a whole lot seems to faze him.
He is as poised a student athlete as I have met this year. Very self-effacing, very disarming, very spiritual. And here's the measurement. It's a first down for Texas Tech. Their second of the ball game comes with 6:28 to play in the first period. They come in all sizes here.
Yeah, they do. You know, Chuck Reedy made a real good point. He's the head coach for Baylor about Hanspard. He said, if he gets 200 yards against Nebraska today, he said, just mail him the Heisman. Don't even have a vote.
From DeSoto, Texas. Tell you, he doesn't run like a DeSoto. A lot faster than those things. Field Scoville split wide to the top of your screen on first down. Hanspard down to the 46. Let's check in with Roger Twyble in New York for an update on USC. Roger?
Well, Mark, we've got an upset in the making out in Tempe, Arizona. First quarter, Lavelle Woods 13 yards on the touchdown run. Both of the touchdowns for USC have come off interceptions of Jake Plummer. 14-0 first quarter. Mark?
Well, Roger, it looks like a upset Saturday is in the making right now.
I don't know. Arizona State came back against UCLA. They can come back. They're a football team that can come back when they're behind.
Second down and 6. Hanspard, nothing doing. Flag down. Thrown at the interior line play. Boy, Hanspard running between the tackles again, John. Ran into a wall that time. Tackled by Jay Foreman, number 56, and Eric Stokes, number 16 for Nebraska. There's flags down on the play. Spike's expression has not changed. Very stoic looking so far. A slim down Spike Dykes. And a look at the avuncular Tom Osborne. Here's the call.
Defense, offside, holding on the offense. Replay, second down.
So that's a break. Yeah, break for Texas Tech. At the very top here, Grant Wistrom jumps offside. That's part of that quick cadence offense that Texas Tech has. Now there's the offsides play. Now I'm trying to find the holding call, but it's really hard to see. So offsetting, and they do it over again.
Second down and 6 for Texas Tech. The ball at Nebraska's 47. They give it to the fullback that time on the option. That's Sammy Morris, number 42, who had a touchdown last week in their win against Kansas. Morris, number 42, is filling in for the starting fullback, Ryan Jones, who had an appendectomy yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, they said he'll be out about 2 weeks with that illness.
Gain of a couple yards on 2nd and 6. It's 3rd down and 4. Texas Tech with the ball on the 45-yard line of Nebraska. Under 5 minutes to play in the first period. Lethbridge is going to throw. And he throws over his intended receiver's head, Sheldon Bass, number 18. It'll be 4th down. Never seemed to quite get set that time.
No, he did, but there were 2 Texas Tech receivers open. There was only 1 defender for Nebraska. But their spacing was poor, and Lethbridge didn't want to force the football in there.
Lethbridge completing less than 50% of his passes, although he's been on a roll in the last 3 games. So far today, he is 0 for 2. Jeremy Hernandez punting, standing on his own 41. And they'll down this inside the 5 at the 2-yard line.
They did it correctly.
A 43-yard punt by Hernandez, who puts it down on the 2. Nebraska with 98 yards to go. One more look at the artwork of Jeremy Hernandez. We'll be right back. I'm Mark Jones in the house along with John Spagnola and Dean Blevins. Nebraska against Texas Tech, a battle of 2 division leaders. Who's number 1, my dear? Well, we're going to find out. Deep in the shadows of their own goalposts, Amon Green back in the ball game after that leg injury, running it out over the 5-yard line. Tackled by Jody Brown, the strong safety. Amon Green last year ran for 1,086 yards on the ground. Didn't play last week because of that turf toe. Rushing 6 times today for a total of 16 yards. Matt Hoskinson, number 62, is in at right guard for Rob Zadiska. On 2nd and 7, a nice defensive play by the Tech defense. Cody McGuire and Corey Chandler teaming up to make the stop.
Yeah, Cody McGuire knifed right in. And as I said, you know, this defense likes to penetrate and take chances. The problem you have is that if you don't cover your gap responsibility, you can have a breakout. That time McGuire won, slanting inside and got right on the running back.
3rd down and 8. On their own 3, 2 tight ends in for Nebraska. Frost is going to throw. Picked up! And this will be room service. Turnabout is fair play, and Spike Dykes wanted his crowd to have something to cheer about early. Well, there it is. Robert Johnson with the interception returned it back for a touchdown.
Well, the turnovers are even now. 2 scores off of 2 turnovers. We're back to square one in this football game. But again, takes a page from the Arizona State playbook defensively, forcing points from the defense deep down in their territory.
Jarrett Greaser in for the extra point, and we have a tie ball game with 3:31 to play in the first quarter.
Scott Frost goes to play action, and it's a dangerous thing when it's 3rd and long to go to play action. The blitz is on. He throws the football.
Robert Johnson had nobody, John, between him and the end zone after the catch.
That's right, and there he is in great shape. Robert Johnson, who makes so many plays for this defense. You look from behind. And you know, when a quarterback's got to turn his back to the football or the downfield for a long time, he can only locate one receiver. He's trying to go to Brandon Holbein, but Johnson took a deep drop and gets into the end zone.
Frost has had problems before, most notably with his voice. Sometimes Nebraska will audible and his players will not hear him. Makes you wonder if that might have happened in that occasion, that time. Tech with some points off the turnover that time. And we're tied at 7 apiece.
Well, that was all set up by shutting down the running game. Good execution by the special teams, setting up the good field position, and all that works together. The Texas Tech gets back in this football game. But more importantly, they get the crowd back into this football game.
Spike Dykes said that they have to look up in the 3rd and 4th quarter and say, we have a chance to win it still. Here's D'Angelo Evans. And he coughs it up. Out of bounds, Nebraska will retain possession at the 25. Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins for more on the quarterback, Frost.
Guys, it was unusual when Frost came off the field. Tom Osborne just patted him on the back. No words of encouragement or discouragement, I should say. No bad words. And then Turner Gill, his quarterback's coach, didn't have anything to say to him. And when he came off the sideline, several players came up to him and kind of jacking around with him, laughing and smiling. So I guess they took that in stride. Maybe there's some inside joke we don't know about.
It may be, Dean. Frost said confidently before this contest that the days of people thinking that I'm nervous are over. Well, we'll have to see if that's true or not.
And he said he's reacting now as a quarterback instead of just thinking. Before he did a lot of thinking.
He checks at the line of scrimmage. Frost keeps it on the option. Frost pushed out of bounds at the 31-yard line by Darwin Brown. Well, Monday night, Annie Potts stars in an all-new Dangerous Minds, and Junior Seau in San Diego charged up because the Raiders are coming to town. AFC West rivals clash on ABC's NFL Monday Night Football. That's Monday beginning at 8 Eastern right here on ABC. You know, back to Frost, I was intimating earlier about his players not being able to hear him, John, when he checks at the line.
Yeah, so they do a lot of less audibling than they did before. They learned that lesson in Arizona State.
2nd and 4. The give is to the fullback, number 28, Brian Schuster, the 5'11", 230-pound senior who gains about a couple yards on the play. Tackled by number 86, Tony Daniels for Tech.
You know, Tom Osborne made a real interesting comment, too, about Scott Frost. He said, you know, we had played down there in the Fiesta Bowl, and we didn't think we had any problem with audibling, but what we failed to realize is that half the fans were ours down there. Because they were all against us in the second game of the season, and consequently, we couldn't get a lot of things done in audibling, so we're not going to do much of that anymore.
Nebraska fans with not many tickets down there. 3rd and 1, and Frost appears to have the first down. Frost again on the quarterback keeper. And that'll move the chains with 2:43 to play in the first quarter. We're tied at 7 apiece. Both teams getting on the scoreboard via the defense. A look at Scott Frost's improvement in games 3 through 5.
Yeah, I think that's what you mentioned. He started to relax, started to react instead of thinking, and started to make some big plays.
Play action going up top. Brendan Holbein just off his fingertips. Incomplete.
Boy, Corey Turner did a great job, number 21 in coverage on Holbein. Holbein trying to go downfield and beat him. And again, when you run the football as effectively as they do, 324 yards a game, the play action is effective, especially on first down. Watch this, stride for stride. Corey Turner right there. Great coverage, and they're going to be locked in man a lot today. The cornerbacks are for Texas Tech.
Right now, they're facing 3 wide receivers. The give is out of the backfield to Green. Amon Green still on his feet, finally brought down at the 45-yard line. A 19-yard pickup and a first down. The tackle made by Dane Johnson. Amon Green, a versatile back, both running and, as you saw there, receiving out of the backfield. That's the ordained minister, Byron Hanspard, trying to make his mark with some Heisman ballots in the offing today. First and 10, Nebraska. They give it to the fullback.
Oh, there's a late shot. That's got to take a penalty. Oh, I can't believe no flag was thrown there. Chris Dishman takes a shot downfield at a Texas Tech defender, Cody McGuire, and that was well after the whistle, and nothing was called.
McGuire coming out of the ball game.
He must have said something about his mother or something like that, don't you think?
Examining the family tree. It'll be second down and 8. 2 tights and 2 wide, single back. They call that the ace formation. The pitch, Green. Green lowers his hat and put his sombrero on the cornerback that time. 13-yard pickup and a first down. Back to that last play, though. Here's the action after the play.
Yeah, there's 75. You see Big Dishman pushing on Cody McGuire. The play's over. And some of the players, John Abingen, you can see 56, gesturing to the official like, what's that? You know, I'm surprised Green with a big gain on that last play. They didn't take the pitch man defensively. They took Scott Frost. The defense today is supposed to allow Frost to get open, not the pitch man in the option.
Yeah, they want Frost to beat them by taking everything else away. Frost keeps it, and he fumbles it. Texas Tech says they have it. The officials saying otherwise. Nebraska retains possession. That's the 4th time we've seen the ball on the rug today.
Yeah, Nebraska's been lucky. They put it on the ground 3 times now. Frost is audibling. You see he's trying to get everybody to hear what direction they're going to run the option in. He runs the play. And again, see, they're taking away the pitch. And they allow him to run upfield and strip the football. Tony Daniels got in there and stripped it away.
Second and 5. Amon Green up the middle. At the 18-yard line, another Nebraska first down. Dwayne Price, the free safety, made the tackle for Texas Tech. But they moved the chains again with 18 seconds to play in the first quarter. We're tied at 7. Nebraska's big offensive line and their running game have a tendency to wear you down.
Yeah, this is what scares me. This will be the 10th play of this drive, and the Cornhuskers love these long, methodical drives. They can wear down this defense. They outweigh them by 52 pounds up front.
Well, the first 15 minutes are in the books at Jones Stadium in Lubbock, Texas. Tom Osborne's team tied at 7-7 against Texas Tech. We'll be right back. Dyke's team tied at 7 against Nebraska. The Cornhuskers, though, with the ball. It is first down and 10 at Texas Tech's 17-yard line. This is the 10th play of the drive. Amon Green is the deep back in the eye, and Scott Frost is audibling again. Amon Green got jacked at the 23 by Monte Rager. How do you like that?
I think right now Amon Green saying, I think you audible to the wrong play, Scott. Again, this penetrating defense, just at the bottom of your screen, you see Monte Rager come right through on the inside block of the tackle, gets by the fullback, scrapes right through, and that is a horrifying sight if you're an I-back, getting hit like that right up the middle.
Second and 14. The flanker screen, Holbein drops it. Brendan Holbein had it in his arms and couldn't squeeze. It'll be third down and 14.
Tony Daniels again exerting pressure. We've seen him making a lot of plays today. Number 86 should be coming off your right side. Yeah, there he is. Oh, you know what? And the tackle slipped over the motion. Dishman, 75, slipped or tripped over the back that was going in motion and couldn't get a pass set.
Scott Frost with a decision to make here. 3 wide receivers to his right. 3rd and 14, incomplete into traffic, and it'll be 4th down. And the Texas Tech defense had a nice sequence there.
They did. They regrouped when they changed the quarter, and they had 3 very good downs defensively. Scott Frost is 2 for 6 now for just 25 yards.
Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins.
Well, guys, the formula that worked for Arizona State is working in large part today for Texas Tech. Take a look at the first down yardage, 1.9. Forced 2 turnovers, 2 others fumbles were recovered, and, of course, 2 pressures on Frost. So Tech doing a great job defensively.
Chris Brown missed 2 field goals last week, but this one is good from 39 yards out. He is now 8 of 11 on the year, and that propels Nebraska into the lead. 10-7 when we come back. John, if you're Texas Tech, you're a little concerned about the rushing yardage, I would think.
Yeah, well, they've rushed the football for 29 yards. No completion so far. Lethbridge is 0 for 2. He has to throw the football somewhat today. And, of course, points off turnovers. Both teams doing well with the points off the turnovers today. Both of them scoring defensively.
Chris Brown kicking off for Nebraska. Stacy Mitchell and Clint Robertson back deep for Texas Tech. And for the 3rd time, it goes into the end zone. Mitchell says no. Thought about it, then took the knee. Mitchell,
that was into the wind, too. I mean, the others he blasted out of the end zone behind the wind. Northwestern comes back again. Boy, can they win at the end of the game. They did it against Michigan, and they do it today against Wisconsin.
Conversely, Wisconsin, John, we saw them earlier this year lose one at the wire against Penn State.
And they battled Ohio State tough. Very tough till the very end.
Texas Tech with the nose of the ball on the 20-yard line. Their own 20 as we begin the 2nd quarter. 14-13 to play in the half. Backs out of the eye. Hanspard with just 25 yards rushing. Well, we'll have to take a few off the net. Make that 23 after that play. John Hess and Grant Winstrom making the tackle. Hess really brought it that time.
He did. You know, both of these teams play very similar styles. They shoot gaps. They come around from all over the place. Look at big number 44, John Hess, right there, is going to shoot right through. Gets behind the pulling guard and just runs the play down from behind.
Sets up 2nd down and 13. Hess already has his psychology degree. Completed it in just 3.5 years. Lethbridge passing. It's caught, but it's caught out of bounds. That's the bad news. P.J. Jason, the tight end, caught it out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down and long for Texas Tech. And the quarterback was brought down hard after the play.
He was, but that is the difference, say, between Brian Cavanaugh from Kansas State 2 weeks ago and Zevi Lethbridge here today. Cavanaugh would have been sacked. Lethbridge at least got rid of the football and gets to dial another play. And although he didn't complete the pass, he certainly saved at least a 15-yard loss on that play from the pressure from Jared Tomich.
3rd and 13 for Zevi Lethbridge, a situation they don't want to be in. Trips right formation. 4 receivers. Lethbridge hit his receiver in the hands. Incomplete. Donnie Hart dropped it. And they'll have to punt.
That ball was thrown a little bit too hard, though. I mean, Donnie Hart is trying to escape bump and run coverage. We know Nebraska loves to play bump and run down here. He's going to spend some time escaping, coming in. But that ball's thrown with a little too much zip on it for him to handle it. And he had to clear the quarterback first. If Lethbridge had been able to wait a half a second longer, that could have been a real big play. But that's what that bump and run defense does. It just disrupts your passing game.
So it's 3 and kick for Texas Tech. Jeremy Hernandez standing on his own 2-yard line. The dangerous Mike Bowman is one of the return men back for Nebraska. Damon Benning returns at 6 yards. Out to the 34. A 55-yard punt and 6 on the return. Nebraska with the ball again.
Well, great coverage by the special teams.
It's 10-7. We'll be right back. An out-of-state school was in 1892 when George Flippin led Nebraska to a 6-0 win over Illinois. Flippin was the first African-American athlete in Nebraska and only the 5th black athlete at a predominantly white university. The Cornhuskers with the ball. Out to the 38-yard line is Amon Green. Corey Chandler making the tackle. 13:04 remaining in the first half. I'm Mark Jones along with John Spagnola and Dean Blevins. Nebraska leads Texas Tech 10-7. Nebraska leads the Big 12's North Division. Tech leads the South Division. 2nd down and 8. Both teams with scores from their defense on turnovers. And Frost is audibling again. The question is, can they hear him? On the pitch, Green brought down at the 34. Jody Brown, number 30, led the charge. Strung out the option nicely that time, John Spagnola.
You know what? A lot of cat and mouse going on. Jody Brown did a great job of moving inside and outside on alignment while Frost was audibling. Right down here at the bottom, he moved around from the inside to the outside. Now all of a sudden Frost realized he was in a predicament. He had called the wrong play. And look at the great job Jody Brown does, not only to play the quarterback, but then play the pitch as well. But that's because he was moving around before the snap.
They want Scott Frost to be the one to beat them. 3rd and 11, 4 wideouts, Frost to throw. Missing badly, incomplete. Intended for John Vedral, number 25.
Jody Brown again on coverage, so it's an excellent series for Jody Brown, number 30, for that Tech defense.
Much to the delight of the sellout crowd here at Jones Stadium. A win today for Tech would be monumental for the program in the big picture. That has been a constant theme here all week. Jesse Cush to punt for Nebraska. Back deep, that's Clint Robertson. Matt DeBuck is the up man, standing at the 28. A great punt by Cush. Robertson at the 18. Saw a seam for a minute, but it closed very quickly at the 26.
Boy, he sure did.
A 50-yard punt, 10 on the return. Well, next Saturday live at 3:30 Eastern, Virginia tries to snap Florida State's winning streak. Ohio State against Iowa. Texas up in Colorado, that's the game that we'll be at. And Washington takes on Oregon. It starts 3:30 Eastern time, 2:30 Central. Call your cable operator for the games available in your area.
You know, it's really fun to watch this game from a defensive perspective because really both defenses play so well against the run, and they do so much stunning and feinting and moving around with their linebackers. It's one of the reasons why they're so successful defensively.
Byron Hanspard out to the 27-yard line, gaining about 2. Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins for more on the I-back.
Guys, Tech's trying to figure out a way to defeat this incredible Nebraska defense. Running back coach Rudy Maskew is talking to Hansbard, saying, get up the field. Don't be running sideways. And that's easier said than done against this defense. They're changing a couple of blocking assignments as well.
That's exactly easier said than done.
It's 100 yards in the last 12 games. He's going to work for every one of those yards today if he gets to the century mark.
Yeah, he's run for 23 so far, John, on 8 rushes. Lethbridge going to throw. Completing the pass to Donnie Hart, number 82. Hart about a yard short of the first down, but Lethbridge delivering a dart that time. Mike Pullman made the tackle.
Yeah, Lethbridge gets rid of the football quickly. Dick Winder worked with him. That was his first completion today. That ball gets out of there pretty quickly. There's no wasted motion. When Winder was here, now he's at Oklahoma. He worked with Lethbridge on that release and did a nice job with him.
It'll be 3rd down and 1 to go.
This is the kind of day where you're thankful you have a quick release.
And quick feet. Hanspard running outside. He's got the first down. Byron Hanspard is looking for some Heisman votes. Michael Booker, the corner, made the tackle, but not before he picked up the first down.
You know, that was one of those offensive first downs that Texas Tech gets. They break the huddle, they go to the line of scrimmage quickly, and as a result, now watch how they come out of the huddle. They're ready to go. Nebraska's adjusting, so people are lining up. Boom! People still get in position. That play's ready to go, and this is where that quick tempo out of the huddle can really help an offense.
That's the first third down conversion of the ball game for Texas Tech. Lethbridge seemed to juggle the ball for a while and was sacked back at the 43-yard line by Grant Windstrom, the nominee for Conference Player of the Week last week for the Cornhuskers. He had 5 tackles a week ago with 1 sack against Baylor.
Well, he's a specimen, 6'5", 250 pounds. There's a sack now in 33 straight games. And Wistrom is a big part of this defense here. Just a junior, he's got a 3.48 GPA and pre-pharmacy. A lot of bright guys on this Nebraska team.
Second down and 13 after that sack by Windstrom. Nebraska blitzing. Hanspard brought down at the 35-yard line, but there are flags littered all over the field.
See, we saw it on 3rd and 1. You go up and you quick count. Nebraska expects that. You go up this time and you quick count, but you don't hike the football, and you get an offside penalty. I'm honestly amazed that more offenses don't do that. I think it's a great concept.
Yeah, we saw Oklahoma do that last week with a good degree of success against Texas.
On the defense, for replay, second down.
2 penalties against Nebraska today. You saw for 21 yards. They average 5 a game for 43 yards. It's a disciplined football team. They don't hurt themselves or beat themselves, at least in most of the games. Arizona State is the one exception this year where they just simply did not come to play.
It was a bit of a wake-up call, admittedly so.
Yeah, I think it was a good thing for him, actually, because you get to a point after 2 national championships, you walk on a football field and you can almost win by showing up.
Yeah, success can spoil some people. Even your fans. Second down and 8 for Lethbridge. Quarterback throw. He's got a ton of room. Zebby Lethbridge has the first down at Nebraska's 35-yard line. Michael Booker ran him out of bounds, but not before a 16-yard pickup. Heads-up play by Lethbridge.
Yeah, what's interesting about this play is when he takes the football, he jets to his left a little bit while he knows the blocking is being set up to the right. And as a result of that, downfield, the secondary is pulled a little bit over to the other side of the field, and he's got great athlete, exceptional skills. Now watch how the linebackers just go to their right a little bit. Oh, now they go back to the left. By then, a lot of the blocking has already been set up for Zebby Lethbridge.
8:47 to play in the first half. Nebraska leads by 3. Lethbridge hands it off to his fullback that time, Sammy Morris, a 6', 212-pound freshman who's brought down right near the line of scrimmage, or maybe for a yard loss.
Again, Nebraska taking a page from the Tech defense now and stopping on first down, forcing 2nd and longs, 3rd and longs for the Tech offense. So, both defenses just play such a similar style. It's really interesting to watch.
Lethbridge can't do too much. We talked to Spike Dykes about that. He said if he sees his quarterback trying to do too much, that he'll bring him over on the sideline and throw some cold water on him. 2nd and 12. Out of the backfield, Hanspard. And the Nebraska defense runs to the ball. That is Exhibit A. They got there quickly with about 3 of them making the tackle at the 35-yard line. Jamel Williams and Mike Fullman, number 12, made the tackle on Lethbridge. Pardon me, Hanspard.
Well, you're right about that, though, Mark. I mean, the closing speed for this team is incredible. It's really, a lot of it, as you said, Jamel Williams made the tackle there. Those guys are really defensive backs playing a linebacker position, and they're protected by that defensive line.
It was about 4 years ago, John, that Nebraska changed its defensive philosophy, putting speed guys on the corners, getting that Florida State style implemented into their own system. 3rd down and 9. The draw. Has the first down at the 24-yard line. An 11-yard gain. Jared Tomich made the tackle.
And that offensive line is pumped up. I see Shane Dunn, 68, jumping up and down. Draw play. It's an obvious passing situation. Number 66 gets a great block sealing off inside. That's Chris Whitney. And Hanspard gives you an idea of the slashing kind of speed he has.
John, you talk about that offensive line. They're a model of synergism. Individually, not that talented, but a different story as a group.
Yeah, the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And in this case, the offensive line coach Ted Underhagen did a great job pulling this whole group together.
Out of the eye, Hanspard again. The meter's running, folks. Down to the 19-yard line. Tack on 5 more to his total. He's run 12 times for a total of 49 yards. Terrell Farley made the tackle on that play.
And I think that Spike Dykes is feeling that his team is going to gain some confidence now from this long drive. His offense is starting to gel and come together. His defense realizes that they no longer have to play in desperate situations. And I think he's going to implore his team that, we can play with Nebraska. Let's keep doing the things we're doing.
Well, we're told that we're experiencing weather problems from parts of the country. And for those of you having picture trouble because of our satellites, hope to get it straightened out for you. And Hanspard is rocked at the 22-yard line, but there's a flag down on the play.
Boy, Hess came running through again, didn't he? I mean, that's a couple of times we've seen him in the backfield just as the running back is getting the handoff.
You can feel those hits up here. But it's offside against Nebraska.
These teams are both built on the premise of a strong rushing attack. Ranked number 3 and 4 in the country. Husker at 324 and the Raiders at 322 a game.
A lot of the numbers very similar between these two teams.
Especially rushing offense and rushing defense. They're both ranked in the top 10 in both categories. But I like the way at least Texas Tech has been able to keep Nebraska at bay. Keep in mind, only 5 penalties a game. They have 3 already and a couple cheap ones now. 3 for 26.
Nothing cheap in football, huh, John, if you're on the receiving end.
Oh, man, but if you can get first downs without having to dial a play or hit anybody, you are definitely a lucky team.
This is the 10th play of the Tech drive. The waggle. Lethbridge tackled in the backfield by Mike Rucker, 84. The 6'6", 250-pound sophomore with a wingspan like a pterodactyl.
Yeah, you're right about that. That's his third. Well, he has 3.5 sacks now in the season. Came into the game with 2.5 sacks, but he showed a great job of staying over his feet and not allowing the moves as Lethbridge to get by him. Lethbridge gave him everything he could. He gave him the head, he gave him the hip, he gave him the leg, he gave him the wiggle. And you know what? Rucker said, no thank you, you're going down.
Sound like Zebby was about to do a little dance here. It's called the escape. Look at the current drive. 2nd and 18. Hanspard running off tackle over the right tackle, Lynn Scherler, and the guard, Shane Dunn. Makes it down to the 18-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and long. Eric Stokes, number 16, making the tackle for the Cornhuskers.
Well, this would wind up being about a 34-yard field goal. That's definitely within Jarrett Greaser's range. He's 7 of 10 on the year. They have to get down to the 4-yard line to get a first down. I'd like to see them take a shot here with their offense. And they are bringing the receiving units into the field.
Ohio State storming back against Purdue. That's a tie game. Right here, 3rd down and 14 to go. Here's the waggle. Complete to the tight end, P.J. Jason, but it's short of the first down at the 11-yard line.
Yeah, Jason got hit pretty hard on that play, but he held on to the football. It was jarred loose after he landed on the ground. It was an interesting play. They had all the receivers on the right side of the field, and then they tried to come back to the left side of the field.
So in comes the field goal kicker, Jarrett Greaser, to attempt a field goal. This one coming from about 30 yards out. They're going to call it 29 now. Out of the hold of Field Scoville. Greaser, 7 of 10 on the season. He usurped his predecessor and now is the starting place kicker. And here it comes. And he nails it, no doubt. Hey, we're tied at 10 apiece. Texas Tech coming into this contest, 22-point underdogs. P.J. Jason made the catch, but he paid a bit of a price. Greaser got the triple. We'll be right back. Well, it tastes good right now for Texas Tech. They're tied with Nebraska, 10-10, with 3:37 to play here at Jones Stadium. Tech with an 11-game home winning streak on the line. Nebraska, conversely, has not lost a conference game in 25 outings.
You know, they tied that score up. Look at the drive time, though. 8 minutes and 2 seconds on that drive. That's one way to deny a good rushing attack to football.
But John, this game has a very fast tempo. Greaser kicking off. Back deep, it's Damon Benning and D'Angelo Evans. Did that one go through the uprights? Wow. We have seen a kicking display here. A couple of strong legs from both Greaser and Chris Brown of Nebraska. Nebraska will start off on its own 20-yard line with 3:37 to play. Look at that ball.
Just wide left. Wouldn't have counted anyway, would it? You know, Nebraska so far in this quarter has -5 yards rushing. Texas Tech doing a great job defensively.
Two tight end set. Amon Green. Oh, did he get hit at the 17? Tony Daniels hit him and hit him hard. He brought it. Tom Osborne, one of the great educators and coaches in college football.
You know, Frost is showing a little bit of frustration here. Watch, he makes the pitch. You know, again, nobody's really taking him. But watch him, he gets involved in the blocking. He tries to get a block downfield. A little different wrinkle in the option.
2nd and 13. Here's Green back again. Staying on his feet, breaking a couple of tackles.
Boy, is he
Green,
powerful.
Yeah, Green just one of 3 talented backs at Nebraska, along with Damon Benning and D'Angelo Evans, the freshman. Rush by committee. Look at their totals per game.
That's right. These are number 1 and 2 in the country. You take the I-backs, the 3 main I-backs for Nebraska, they'd be ranked number 3 if they were one person. And in many ways, they are one person. They're an interchangeable part of that offense.
Tom Osborne with a lot of options in the backfield, splitting up that playing time. Osborne doing a lot of things in the name of education and athletics. 3rd down and 4, 2 tights and 2 wides. Green, the lone back, a busted play, and Frost is sacked at the 16. Monte Rager again.
You know, Osborne told us he didn't think this crowd would be that noisy. He looked around at the stadium yesterday, Mark, when you and I were talking to him, and Dean Blevins, and he said, you know, it doesn't seem like it would be all that noisy. But I tell you what, there was definitely a miscommunication there, as Scott Frost didn't get the message to Ahman Green.
And Nebraska will have to punt. It's 4th down and long.
See, I think they're going to try and run the counter tray. If you look at what the offensive linemen are doing, yeah, there's the block, but you know, the back was supposed to first counter right and then go back to the left. Green didn't do it, so it sets up a difficult situation here for the Cornhusker offense.
Check that, 3rd down and 9. Frost up top completes the pass to Vedral. And John Vedral has a 1st down. A huge completion and conversion on 3rd. A 29-yard pickup, Turner making the tackle.
What a great competitor, John Vedral, and he's part of a 3-wide receiver set, and he nestles in between the short and the deep pattern. See how he's right in between there. Turns it upfield, takes a good shot right here. Doesn't seem to faze him so much as Corey Turner put the elbow on him. A big conversion for the Cornhusker offense.
Yeah, time now becoming a factor with 1:50 to play in the first half. 1st down on the pitch. And they put it on the ground. Texas Tech has it at midfield. Jody Brown pounced on the loose ball. The 3rd turnover for Nebraska.
Well, you got to pressure the defense or the offense, and you got to create turnovers if you're going to beat Nebraska. Ahman Green drops the pitch. It was right in his stomach. It certainly was entirely his fault. Jody Brown jumps on the football, and you have to wonder if Green got a lot of practice time coming off that turf toe. They seem to say he was ready. They said he practiced this week. But, you know, when you're not around for the last 2 weeks or so and you're forced into this kind of situation, it's a little bit different. Everything happens a lot faster.
Sure is. Play fake. Lethridge to throw. And it is dropped by Donnie Hart. Hit him in the hands. Texas Tech trying to reinvent that Arizona State formula. And let's go downstairs to Dean.
Well, the numbers are holding up. Incredibly, Texas Tech holding Nebraska to 1.5 yards on first down. I mean, I don't remember when that's ever been happening before. You see the 3 big turnovers. They've also had a couple of other balls on the ground that were not recovered by Texas Tech, so it is working so far. Jason Peter, by the way, is in with a hurt hand. They'll look at it and try to have him back out for the second half for Nebraska.
All right, he's a key member of that defense. And here's a key member of Tech's offense, number 4, Byron Hanspard, tackled by John Hess. Hanspard gaining about 5 on that play.
You know, before that play that Donnie Hart dropped, that was a play that they had wide open there. You look at the rushing so far, 68 yards for Nebraska, 58 yards for Hanspard. So he's certainly having an acceptable day so far in this football game. But, you know, that drop was a big play. I think Lethbridge threw that too hard, though. I think Hart, you know, had an opening there, and he threw one hard to him on a slant in before, threw it hard there, and it hurt him.
All right, let's check in with some other programming and shows coming up a little later on ABC. You know, Lethbridge is prepared with all those clickers, huh? 10-10, 1:27 to play in the first half. 3rd and 5. Complete to the tight end, Kyle Alleman. And a first down for Tech at Nebraska's 31. Mike Minter made the tackle. A pickup of 15 on the play. They stopped the clock with 1:22 in the half.
Yeah, we watched Kyle Alleman in practice the other day, and Spike Dykes commented to us, boy, he looked a little nervous before this game. He dropped a couple of passes. That was a great reception, though, for him. He keeps this drive alive for Texas Tech.
4 receivers on 1st and 10. 1:15 to play in the half. Lethbridge seemingly finding his mark, passing. They hand it off this time to Hanspard, who weaves his way through a couple of tacklers down to the 28. Well, he could be a player of the game, and speaking of which, at the conclusion of today's game, we'll select the General and Chevrolet MVP of the game from each team. To date, Chevrolet has awarded nearly $6 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. So far, there's the numbers. He's upped his average now to 4 per carry. Lethbridge is going to throw it. And he goes down at the 33 under pressure from Mike Rucker, his second tackle for loss today.
Rucker taking advantage of the fact that there was pressure from the right side initially that forced Lethbridge up in the pocket, and he came in cleaned up. But I'll tell you what, Mike Rucker's having a heck of a ball game out of St. Joseph, Missouri. Really making his presence felt. And that's what the beauty of this defense. They are 2 and 3 deep all across the board.
Well, tonight on ABC, all new episodes of Second Noah, Craig T. Nelson and Coach. Common Law and Relativity, the brand new series everyone's talking about, all new tonight on ABC. Well, 35 seconds remain to play in the first half. Byron Hanspard, one of the top rushers, the top rusher in the country. Troy Davis, also with the Big 12, one of the top rushers in the country. 3rd down and 13 for the Red Raiders. Trips left. Nebraska's blitzing. Lethbridge up top, had a man wide open. Hart was open, but Lethbridge overthrew him. John, you pointed it out a couple of throws ago. Lethbridge has been a little strong on his arm today. A little strong on his throws.
He has. I think he's a little pumped up. Hart definitely came open late, but he expected the ball, I think, a little later than it was released by Lethbridge. It looks like they're going to line up for about a 50-yard field goal here, Mark, from Jarrett Greaser.
Jarrett Greaser, in practice earlier today, I saw him kick a field goal from 60 yards out. So if he makes this, folks, it's no surprise. This one coming from 50 yards away. Greaser missed it just barely to the left. I mean, he couldn't have missed that by more than 6 or 7 inches.
Yeah, you're right. It was just a hair outside the upright. You know, those longer field goals tend to hook a little bit.
He had a lot of leg in that, though.
Oh, yeah, plenty of leg. We'll take a look at it again. Good hold by Field Scoville. Ball's up. And it just is heading at that upright. It's still inside. It's still inside. And then starts to hook a little bit. Hold it right there. And now it's just a little bit outside as it goes over that upright.
It's interesting that Greaser was telling me in practice yesterday that that's the end of the stadium he likes kicking towards.
Probably because the prevailing wind is usually behind him.
No doubt. The give is up the middle. And Damon Benning still on his feet, finally brought down at the 46-yard line. A pickup of 21 with 18 seconds to play in the half. Jody Brown, number 30, made the tackle for Texas Tech.
Do not fall asleep against Nebraska. No. You know, there's a little bit of a letdown here. You know, I'm sure Texas Tech thinking they're just going to take it to the house at halftime. And all of a sudden, Damon Benning bursts one up the middle. And, you know, they wind up in field position here where they could get some points on the board.
Nebraska, John, calling its first timeout. They have 2 remaining. Texas Tech with 1 remaining in the first half. 18 seconds to play. We're tied at 10. Look at a pensive Tom Osborne. Florida leading Auburn. It's interesting, some of the Auburn players were talking a lot of smack before that game. Don't want to do that against Steve Spurrier's crew.
Hey, Air Force giving Notre Dame a battle. There's 2 rushing attacks going at it.
And a big upset in the Big Ten. Go, 18 seconds to go here. Northwestern coming back to defeat Wisconsin. Barry Alvarez probably losing some more hair after that close loss.
Well, Brian Goings, the field goal kicker, was the hero when they beat Michigan. 17 unanswered points in the 4th quarter. They're behind in this game against Wisconsin to come back to win again.
3 wide receivers out to the top of your screen. On 1st and 10, Damon Benning is the lone back. Frost goes up top into traffic, almost picked off. He took a chance on that one. Tony Darden, number 11, broke it up. He's the 6-foot junior, 196 pounds. Darden had an interception last week against Kansas, which led to a touchdown and their subsequent victory.
Yeah, that's right. They were behind 17-14 in that football game when he came up with the key interception.
Frost just 3 of 9 for 54 yards with an interception which led to a touchdown. 2nd and 10, 12 seconds to go. Chris Brown has a strong leg if they could get in range, but they go downtown and it's incomplete and a flag.
Oh, no.
A late flag.
No.
I'm not sure that was catchable.
I watched that the whole way. The ball wasn't catchable, and both players were jostling for position.
Corey Turner, number 21, could be whistled for the infraction here. He was covering Brendan Holbein.
One-on-one coverage. Watch Tony Darden, number 21, as he's working on the receiver, Brian Holbein. Now there's a little bumping there. He turns for the football. Ball's in the air there, and that, you know, that's a ticky-tack call. That's something you just don't see called a whole lot. It's only 15 yards, so it's not as devastating as it would be in the pros, but it certainly gives Nebraska good field position.
Moves them into field goal range, perhaps. It's against Texas Tech.
So they're going to tack on 15 yards for the interference. And let's see if they tack on an additional 15 for the personal foul.
Let's take one more look at the quarterback, and if there was a late hit. Yeah, you could define that as late.
Sure, Cody McGuire, 74. I remember he got in a fight earlier with Dishman, so.
Payback is something, isn't it?
I could see why some people want to get after him a little bit.
That's what you call a get back. From 49 yards out, Chris Brown. He's 1 for 1 today. He has a long of 50 this year. And here it comes. Brown is short. Well, after 30 minutes, the 22-point favored Nebraska Cornhuskers are in a ball game, folks. We're tied at 10 apiece. Texas Tech hanging tough. Spike Dykes, your team's still alive. We'll be right back. Halftime coming up. Valvoline halftime. Texas Tech receiving, and they fumbled on the first play of the game for Nebraska touchdown. Jarrett Greaser king off. Damon Benning and D'Angelo Evans back deep. And Benning watches it bounce through the end zone, and they'll start off on their own 20.
As I said, it was a good defensive struggle in this football game so far. Rushing yards, both teams under 100 yards. Total yards, Tech at 96, Nebraska at 143. Nebraska with the 3 turnovers right there, leading to 7 points. And you know, this Texas Tech defense has taken a page from that Nebraska formula and also from the Arizona State formula, and that's pressure, pressure, pressure on defense. It's working so far in this football game. First 5 games, 3 of those, remember, occurred against Arizona State.
Could have been worse. Here's Amon Green, who did not have an Amon Green-like first half. He runs for about 7 yards on that play, tackled by Jody Brown and Anthony Armour. Green coming off of that turf toe injury. Didn't quite seem like himself in the first 30 minutes of play. Was shaken up early in the first quarter, came out, then returned to the ball game, averaging just 2.7 per carry so far. Green in the backfield along with number 28, Brian Schuster, the fullback. Kenny Cheatham in motion, the toss to Green, who's brought down for a loss on that play. Number 30, Jody Brown, the strong safety. The defense keying in on everybody and letting Scott Frost beat them, trying to make Scott Frost beat them.
You know, Jody Brown took the place of Marcus Coleman. They lost some key defenders on this Texas Tech defense. Sean Banks, Zach Thomas, who's, I think, the NFL Rookie of the Year now with Miami, the middle linebacker, and Marco Coleman. But Jody Brown took Coleman's spot, and is doing a great job so far here today in the season.
3rd and 5. Incomplete, intended for Vedral, who dropped it. Robert Johnson providing the coverage. Vedral looking back at his teammates and saying, my bad.
You know, that's where Scott Frost, you know, his numbers don't show up well sometimes, but when players drop passes for you, you know, it can cause pressure for all parts of the offense. That's clearly what's going to be a completion and a first down, but Vedral simply dropped the football.
Jesse Cush into punt. Back deep for Texas Tech. Clint Robertson and Matt DeBuck. Kicking into a wind. Cush, low snap. And he gets off a fantastic punt. Driving Richardson back to the 20. And he steps out of bounds at the 32-yard line. Wow, a 55-yard kick. 12 on the return. The number 5 team in the country in a dogfight right now when we come back.
John Spagnuolo. I think the moon rose a little early here today. Catch a good football game, don't you? That's a Texas moon smiling over the game so far. Probably in Nebraska, it's got a little bit different view of this game.
Man, you're a Picasso, I'm telling you.
Oh, God. That's about as good as it gets for me.
Spike Dykes told us that his team would have to be in it in the 3rd quarter for confidence sake. A look at the possessions in the first half. Both teams ending the first half with missed field goals. Hansbard out over the 35 to the 37-yard line, a gain of about 5 on first down. Tackled by Terrell Farley and Jamel Williams, number 28. Hansbard was not only the team's leading rusher, but the team's leading receiver a year ago, so he's a versatile back and has tremendous speed, as we mentioned earlier.
A couple of players checking in the game. One is Malcolm McKenzie, number 17. He's a guy I'd like to see them get the football to in this game. He's on the right side at the top. He's certainly their big play receivers. Had no opportunity so far today.
Flag down on the play. As they run it, it's Hansbard.
Yep. Jared Thomas jumped off sides on the right side of the offense. He's lined up on the left side. We've seen it a couple of times today. It's an unorthodox offense, and it really throws those defensive linemen who like to get a jump on the football.
Yeah, it's against Nebraska. Tom Osborne, head coach for 24 seasons at Nebraska. His team in a ball game right now with 12:58 to play in the 3rd quarter. These two teams have met 3 previous times, with the Cornhuskers winning all 3 meetings.
You know, it's funny. Ben Kaufman, number 75, scored the touchdown the last time they played. He had a fumble recovery in the end zone. Left tackle for Texas Tech. So he knows how to get in the end zone offensively. Maybe he can tell his guys on offense, this is how you do it, fellas.
Gone are the days of the fumblerooski. You won't be seeing that anymore. 2nd down and 1 for Texas Tech. Play fake. Lethbridge up top. Has a man, and it's overthrown. Intended for Mitchell. And he was covered stride for stride by Ralph Brown, the freshman. Number 22 right there on your screen, who's been tested and picked on a lot this year, but he's responded extremely well.
Yeah, Stacy Mitchell, he's 5'5". He's the 3rd smallest guy in Division 1A football. I don't know if he's the kind of guy you want to go up top to on a play-action pass. I talked about Kaufman, though. Watch the good pass protection he affords his quarterback. This guy's a definite prospect. People are looking at him. He's going against Peters. He does a good job of maintaining his balance, keeping his shoulders square, and getting a good push on the pass rush.
John, 3rd down and 1 for Texas Tech. Full house backfield. It's going to be close. It's a fumble. Another turnover.
2nd time that Hanspart's run right up the middle, get been hit, and the ball's come out.
They're still fighting for it. And Nebraska has the ball. Nebraska has 3 turnovers. Tech now has 2.
Man, oh man, happened in the first possession of the first half, first possession of the second half. Pressure comes right up the middle. 3rd and 1 situation. Boy, that ball just gets hit and pops right out.
Ralph Brown, number 22, who was defending on that last pass play, made the fumble recovery. It appeared as if Johnny ran it into his own man almost.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that Wistrom got through. He seemed to get a shoulder on there as he came through. So another key turnover in their own territory for Texas Tech.
Nebraska with propitious field position. 12:36 to play in the quarter. Green the deep back out of the eye on the option. Frost keeps it himself, tackled at the 41. Tackled by Monte Rager. The one thing that won't happen to number 4, Hanspard, is he will not become, he won't get nervous.
That's Rudy Maskew, the running back coach, talking to his offense, keeping them settled on the sidelines. We ran into him at a Mexican restaurant the other night, had a nice chat with him. Does a real good job with his running backs, and he's on the sidelines, other coordinators up in the booth.
They hand it off. Green, Amon Green with some tough running down to the 28. A 12-yard pickup. The tackle made by Jody Brown. That's the Amon Green that most people are used to seeing. He can run inside, can run outside. He's the sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska, who got bigger this year without losing any of his speed.
Yeah, if you look at him, 6 feet, 215 pounds. He is solid running back.
1st down and 10. 2 tight end formation. They give it to the fullback. Down to the 21-yard line. Brian Schuster, number 28, tackled by Rager. And, you know, John, that's one thing Nebraska will do. They'll get you on the pitch, and then that one time they'll surprise you, I guess, with number 28, the fullback.
You're right, and I think that's what the option is designed to do. I think the defense for Texas Tech has put a lot of pressure on the quarterback, on the running backs in the pitch. And sometimes you get slanting outward and you forget about what's happening up the middle. Schuster does a good job picking up the yards there.
2nd down and 3, 2 tights and 2 wides. Amon Green has the 1st down at the 17-yard line. That was 2nd and 3, so we're seeing Nebraska gain a little more yardage on this drive on 1st down. Eric Butler made the tackle from his middle linebacker spot.
And they seem to be having success attacking, instead of attacking east or west, attacking right up the middle on the Cornhusker on the Texas Tech defense.
Nebraska with the ball in the 17. It's 1st and 10. Amon Green is the lone back. Whistles. Not sure they got the playoff in time.
Flag on the play.
Dead ball. False start on the offense. We're still playing 1st down.
So they'll move it back a few yards and we'll replay 1st down.
That's the 6th penalty today for Nebraska. A lot of offside calls on the defense particularly. They average 5 a game, so they're above their average.
Amon Green, the lone back. been almost exclusively Amon Green today. Tech coming with a blitz. And Green. That's why it's exclusively Green. Because he can get the job done. Down to the 3-yard line. A 19-yard pickup before finally being tackled by Corey Turner and Jody Brown.
David Benning was going to get some carries in the first half. We saw that. D'Angelo Evans is going to substitute in the second half. But Amon Green is the main man for this offense, Mark. He now has 20 carries for 76 yards. Still looks like he's running a little gingerly on that foot as he goes off the football field. But he stepped up his performance in this drive.
Coach is telling us he's learned to play with those nicks and hurts. There's D'Angelo Evans, the freshman, stacked up at the 3-yard line.
That's the true freshman. About so much has been written and spoken so far. I think he took off a little early, though. I think he might have been thought he was a little closer to the goal line.
Need a little more hang time.
Yeah,
on that
and a little closer to the line of scrimmage. I mean, you don't take off from 4 yards back.
He rushed for over 100 yards in 2 consecutive games. Had 12 carries for 105 last week against Baylor. And 21 rushes for 168 the week before. Evans, the deep back out of the eye. Frost keeps it himself, and Frost takes it to the house. Touchdown Huskers. Nebraska takes a 6-point lead.
Texas Tech wanted Scott Frost to have to beat them. Scott Frost beat him on that play. Here he runs the option and follows behind Brian Schuster, the fullback, who means so much to this offense. Was Schuster 28? Just seal things off inside. He gets a block there. That's right in the back of your fullback.
Literally. The extra point added by Chris Bound. A 7-play, 41-yard drive. Nebraska leads by 7 when we come back. Moments ago, capping that 41-yard drive. Set up by that Byron Hansbard fumble. And the quarterback ran it in from 3 yards out. The transfer from Stanford University. He's talking about the fact that he didn't think that attending Stanford was a bad decision. He wanted to play for Bill Walsh, but time came there, he thought things over and decided to come back home to Nebraska.
He wanted to win. That was a big part of the decision. He said, I have a better chance of winning a national championship in Nebraska than I do at Stanford.
That's reason enough. Chris Bound kicking off. And it's a fumble.
Oh, no.
This is not what Texas Tech needs. Nebraska says they have it.
Yeah, the deep backs, the kickoff returners were too far back. They didn't judge the wind.
And Texas Tech retains possession.
And you could see them scampering at the very end to get up to the football as it took flight. I guess a gust of wind came and knocked that football down. And watch how they scamper to get up there. They're not, neither one of them are in position to field the football.
That was Stacy Mitchell, number 6.
And his cohort, Clint Robertson, number 2, wasn't in position either. So Texas Tech gets a break there.
And you can hear a smattering of Nebraska fans making the majority of the noise right now. There they are. There's a smattering of Nebraska people wearing red. Hangs on to it, goes airborne, clears the 25, and is brought down to the 26. And you can hear somebody down there saying, hang on.
And I think he's revved his engine up a little bit.
And this is why they're saying hang on. First play of the game, he put it on the ground. Terrell Farley ran it in for the touchdown. That wasn't the first one. He did it earlier, too, just moments ago. And that led to this Scott Frost 3-yard run on the option. And a 7-point lead for Nebraska. But back they come to their marquee player. Hansbard again, tackled by John Hess, the middle linebacker.
14 of Nebraska's points are off those 2 turnovers, one directly and one indirectly. That really has hurt Texas Tech today. The one thing they didn't want to do, of course, is turn the football over. You know, as he's running in the middle, I'm just wondering, we see an injured player on the sideline getting stretched out.
D'Angelo Evans, the freshman.
Must have hurt himself when he took flight on that 1-yard plunge. I'm wondering how much the loss of Ryan Jones is hurting that inside running game. He's a very effective blocker, and they may miss him here today.
Hanspard on 3rd and 1. My, it's going to be close. He got the right-footed spot from the official. He was tackled by Scott Saltzman. And it looks like they're going to bring in the chains to measure. It has not been an easy day running for Byron Hanspard. Came in averaging over 217 yards per game. And so far he has run for a total of just 73. But a busy day in college football. It's a first down. Let's go back to Roger Twibel in New York.
Well, Mark, it's been a struggle for a lot of the top teams today.
All right, John, back here. Pardon me. Roger. Old habits die hard. 7:50 remaining in the 3rd quarter. Lethbridge complete to Malcolm McKenzie. Malcolm getting it done that time by any means necessary. The first down after a 12-yard pickup, tackled by Ralph Brown, the freshman.
Yeah, I like Malcolm McKenzie. I talked to the wide receiver coach, David Moody, about him. He said he's a guy that has to step up. He's the guy that needs some confidence. He has big play potential. I just don't know if he realizes it yet. And it's great to see him get involved in the offense. You know, one thing they do here is roll all the wide receivers. You know, sometimes you're better off just playing some guys and letting them get into the flow of the football game.
1st and 10, Lethbridge to pass again. Has his intended receiver, Donnie Hart, who's dropped 2 today. That time, emphatically squeezing the ball.
Then again, sometimes it's good to roll your wide receivers. Donnie Hart, I'm sure, is happy to finally hold on to a football today. He had 2 balls that he dropped, but both of them were thrown very hard by Lethbridge.
There's a look at Hart, the 6'1" sophomore, 187 pounds. Next Saturday at 3:30 Eastern, Virginia tries to snap Florida State's win streak. Played a heck of a game last year. Ohio State takes on Iowa, Texas, Colorado. That's where we'll be in Boulder. And Washington is at Oregon. That's 3:30 and 2:30 Central Time, plus one more Pac-10 game on the West Coast. The pass complete to the tight end and dropped. It was in Kyle Allman's hands and dropped. You know, if I'm quarterback Zebby Lethbridge, I've got to let them hear about it just a little bit coming back to the huddle.
Yeah, you sure do, and I know nobody's more upset than Kyle Allman. Made a nice catch early in this football game, but there off the play action, he had a nice seam working on a little bit of a sail route. Ball was thrown right in his hands, right in front of his eyes. It's not a tough catch, but he did not hold on, and that's some of those nerves there from the redshirt freshman that we saw carried over from practice on Thursday.
Yeah, no doubt. 3rd down and 2. Tech 4 of 11 on 3rd down conversions. Hanspard, the deep back out of the offset eye. Flag down. This will be offside again against Nebraska. Again on the same side of that defensive line.
Yeah, this time they won't take the penalty, but I think, you know, one thing about a defense is if you're set up to be with speed and you have those fast defensive ends, they'd love to get off early on the count. Jared Tomich at the top, number 93. Again, that hard count takes him off, and he's not looking at the football. He's got to look at the football out of the corner of his eye.
1st down.
There's such a penetrating defense that kind of stuff makes them susceptible to it, and you got to give the Texas Tech offense for what they've been able to do.
Let's go downstairs to Dean.
Guys, Casey Jones is in, number 65, offensive right guard. He got a temporary restraining order making him eligible. There was a technicality regarding his eligibility, and he missed the first 6 games, but he's in there now.
And they run over his side, Dean, down to the 42-yard line.
You know, Casey Jones is the guy that had 22 career starts. He expected to play this year and was denied his eligibility on August 30th. So he filed 3 different appeals with the NCAA, and then finally they went to court, and the school is separate from the whole temporary restraining order. The school cannot be punished in any way by the NCAA. That's part of the whole temporary restraining order. So he's in there. Nobody's happier because he's a very solid part of this offensive line.
And a fresh body at this point, too. 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Lethbridge overthrows number 18, Sheldon Bass. Had him on the slant route. Mike Fullman, the senior, with the coverage. Seen him overthrow a few receivers today. There's his number, 6 of 15. Again, below the 500 mark.
Yeah, he's having a tough time today. He struggled early in the season at 36%, see 2 TDs and 2 interceptions, and really has come on the last 3 games. 55%, 4 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He has thrown over people today, and it's usually been when the wind's behind him. You know, you really have to gauge that wind, and he throws such a strong ball to begin with. I think it's sailing on him a little bit.
Right now, John, the wind in his face on 3rd and 8. Lethbridge incomplete at the 41-yard line. Booker, Michael Booker, booked it, closed it, and it's 4th down. From Oceanside, California, the most reliable cover man on the team making a big play.
Man-to-man coverage, tight bump and run. It's very difficult there to throw the out route. You see, right there, he stays up in his zone, does Michael Booker, and he doesn't have to move at all because he's playing in his zone, and everything just came to him. That's a very dangerous pass to throw.
Booker leads the team with 3 interceptions. Jeremy Hernandez standing on his own 44, ready to punt. Still loose. Number 44, John Hess blocked it.
Nebraska plays. John Hess coming right up the middle here. The guard on the left side does not close down. He's got to help out the center on that play, and that's what allows Hess to come right up the middle. Nebraska had 2 blocks. See number 83, he steps out. He's got to step inside and seal that gap. That's what hurts the punt protection scheme there by Texas Tech.
He came in there unencumbered.
That was Kyle Shipley who's got to seal that inside gap.
Frost on the option, keeps it himself, tackled at the 37-yard line.
You know, Nebraska blocked 2 punts against Kansas State in that football. One, the punter didn't even get the football off. Terrell Farley came right in and knocked the thing down.
Kansas State is a common opponent of both Nebraska and Tennessee. And here's the other number 4, D'Angelo Evans, down to the 30. Texas Tech lost that game 21-14 against Kansas State. And there's a flag down at the 31-yard line. D'Angelo Evans on the carry.
You know, there's a late flag on that play. I think Robert Johnson was cut illegally. Number 7, see him limping around there in the bottom right of the screen. The flag came out late, but a lot of people saw the call and jumped all over the officials.
Frost, an undersized linebacker.
Dead ball. Personal foul on the offensive team. It'll be a 1st down. 1st and 10 after a 15-yard penalty.
Well, you heard it.
Yeah, D'Angelo Evans carried the ball on that play. You know, he was booed mercilessly at Kansas State out of Wichita, Kansas. You know, they wanted him to stay in the state. Let's see if we can find D'Angelo. Gets the football, does a great job cutting back inside for a true freshman. He runs the football so well, but the foul occurred off on the left side, and we can't spot it from that angle.
Still waiting down on the field. Nebraska with 4 wide receivers on this play. On 1st and 10. Evans in the backfield. Quick pitch. Evans gets to the perimeter. And another flag down back at the 49-yard line. Let's go to Roger Twyble in New York.
Thanks, Mark.
Boy, Barry Alvarez has to be pulling out what's left of his hair after that one. Meanwhile, there was a flag thrown back at the 49. Here's a look.
Watch at the top of the screen. Very late, you'll see a engagement by the wide receiver. I believe that might be number 33, blocking and pushing and everything else.
Sean Whiting.
Again, yeah, Whiting, who got involved in that play.
Look at the penalty situation so far today. Nebraska with 8 of them. very uncharacteristic of them. D'Angelo Evans in the ball game. Amon Green not in at the time. Evans brought down for a loss on the play of about 1. Dean Blevins, what's up with Amon Green?
Amon Green's turf toe, guys, is pretty bad. He was talking to the trainers over here saying it's hurting him quite a bit, and he's doubtful to return to the ball game. Of course, they have a few guys behind him who can tote the pigskin a little bit, but that turf toe is bothering him.
You did mention their depth, and they do have that.
You know, they got to come up for a better name for that, because people just don't think turf toe should be that serious an injury, but it is painful. Can't push off on your foot at all.
2nd and 23, Frost. Incomplete, dropped by Lance Brown. Another ball that's dropped on the quarterback, Scott Frost.
Yeah, again, you know, Scott Frost may not have good numbers, but look at the balls we've seen drop today. I mean, that ball was right on the money, and it was a difficult throw between 2 defenders, right in Lance Brown's hands.
It was right there. Vedral dropped one earlier.
This is a hard throw to make into the wind. Lance Brown moves into the football, gets between his elbows. But you certainly cannot fault Scott Frost on the delivery of that football.
3rd down and 23. Nebraska had the ball earlier on Tech's 29-yard line. D'Angelo Evans spun around and hit hard at the 43. Texas Tech is putting a hat on Nebraska. Jones and Donahue with the tackle.
Nebraska lost almost 40 yards on that series. You said they had the ball on the 29-yard line. Look where they have it now, on the 41-yard line. Watch the hitting. Texas Tech defense coming alive in a moment in the football game where they have to. D'Angelo Evans gets the ball in the flat, tries to work upfield. Man, they just converge on him with that speed on the defensive side.
And Jason Jones is pumped up. Jesse Cush standing on his own 28, ready to punt. Robertson and DeBuck back deep. Another great punt into the wind. Robertson. Nebraska's special teams today has been picture perfect. A 44-yard punt, 3 on the return. The Red Raiders still hanging in there, down 7. Dean Blevins on the sidelines. Right now, Nebraska leads Texas Tech by 7. And there's a look at number 30 for Nebraska, Amon Green, whose turf toe injury has acted up again, and he may not return to the game.
He came on in that drive, the first drive of the second half, but, you know, I think he's, as Dean said, out for the game, and that's a difficult injury to recover from.
Byron Hanspard recovering from an injury of a different sort mentally when he fumbled. He's fumbled twice today, brought down on that play by Jeff Ogard. Hanspard is one of the Heisman Trophy candidates. Came into the game averaging 217 yards per contest. Averaging just 3.8 yards per carry today.
He seems to be a bit bemused by all the Heisman talk. He's not a guy who's going to let himself get caught up in the excitement of the moment, but certainly Nebraska knew he was a Heisman candidate. They've been putting it to him today.
Here he is on the counter. Everybody here in Lubbock, of course, hoping that he does win the Heisman. And here in the stands, they have a certain configuration which they show from time to time. There it is, 4 and Heisman. And interestingly enough, that configuration was up yesterday at practice. Some of the Nebraska players were here during their walkthrough, looked up at that, and I saw them kind of shaking their head saying, Heisman, huh? All right.
That'll get the eyebrow up a little bit.
Oh, no doubt. Lethbridge to pass on 3rd down and 4. And it's complete at the 30-yard line. A 10-yard pickup to Matt DeBuck. First down, Texas Tech, with 1:44 to play in the 3rd quarter.
And that 5'8", 167 pounds out of Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Not a lot of tall targets between him and Stacy Mitchell, who's all of 5'5". But that's a key conversion deep in their own territory for the Red Raiders.
1.5 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. On the option, Hanspard run down from the inside, brought down to the 34-yard line. Well, tomorrow night on ABC, it's America's Funniest Home Videos. starting at a special time, 7:30, 6:30 Central. Then see what happens when the honeymoon's over on Lois and Clark. And Yasmin Bleeth stars in the world premiere of Talk to Me, all tomorrow night on ABC. Superman's still married, huh?
He's doing pretty well, isn't he? Might
want to get an update.
Yeah, maybe Dean can track that for us.
I guess the Man of Steel doesn't have a heart of steel.
Get Dean Blevins to chart it for us on the sideline.
I said the honeymoon's over. Complete. And Malcolm McKenzie had his knee on the rug. And it's ruled down at the 41. And it's another first down for Texas Tech.
A lot of pressure again from Nebraska up front. Watch how he gets rid of the football quickly. He goes back, reads his progression, and I'll tell you what, credit the offensive line. He was able to look over the right side of the field, step up, look to the left side. Yeah, he got hit, but he still got the football off.
Lethbridge is as tough as a competitor as head coach Spike Dykes has ever seen. That's what he says. Down here, he is a cult and folk hero of sorts. Half a minute to play in the third quarter, and he fires another dart complete at midfield to number 82, Donnie Hart, who's dropped 2 earlier, but has now caught 2 in a row. Mike Fullman making the tackle.
And they're working those out routes that we had talked about. That's 3 out routes we've seen in front of the true freshman, Ralph Brown, for the Cornhuskers.
I'm Mark Jones along with John Spagnola and Dean Blevins. Nebraska leads Texas Tech 17-10 with 26 seconds to play in the third quarter. Nebraska got a free one early in the game off a fumble by Byron Hanspard. Play fake. Incomplete, intended for Bass. Let's check in with Roger Twibel in New York.
Thanks, Mark. Ohio.
Wasn't exactly a speedy run, but
no, it wasn't
certainly crafty.
Every person on Purdue missed a tackle defensively, it looked like 2.
Third down and 1. Hanspard has the first down. Tackled at the 45. But Byron Hanspard ran over his big tackle, Lynn Scherler, and his guard, Shane Dunn. 16 seconds to go in the third quarter. Ralph Farley made the tackle. He's right at the century mark for the day on 26 rushes.
He's halfway to Chuck Reedy's Heisman Trophy. If he got 200, he said he'd give it to him.
And that will be the end of the third quarter of play. Hey, Nebraska came in here 22-point favorites. That's why they play it, don't just talk about it. We'll return with more action between Nebraska and Texas Tech after this message and a word from our ABC stations. Hanspard, it has been an afternoon of tough running for him.
He might have gone over the 100 mark on that one, but he paid for it.
It wasn't easy. Total of 27 rushes for a total of 101 yards for Byron Hanspard, brought down by Jared Tomich and Jamel Williams.
Tech's putting together another time-consuming drive, Mark. That was their 10th play of this drive. They've been able to keep the football surprisingly against this tough Nebraska defense.
Hanspard, John, has 13 consecutive games over 100 yards. And you know what? After that run, he may be back under 100 yards.
Yeah, you're right about that. And that's the difficult thing to do, is to cut back against this Nebraska defense. You've got to seal things off backside. And look at Air Force in overtime, upsetting Notre Dame. Wow.
Those service academies have a way of playing well against some of those bigger programs. Can't sleep on them too much. Third down and 10 for Texas Tech. 4 wide receivers out for the quarterback, Zebby Lethbridge. Has time, and he threw it outside. The receiver went upfield, number 82, Donnie Hart. So it'll be time to punt for the Red Raiders.
Total miscommunication on that play. A receiver was supposed to break out. Look at Zebby. I mean, saying, who's breaking out for me? I think Matt Dubuck was supposed to break out. Field Scoble, 87, was supposed to go upfield and try to shield thing in that man-to-man defense, but you just can't blow opportunities like that in the passing game.
Yeah, and they have to be very careful here, John, on special teams and punting. Jeremy Hernandez had one blocked not too long ago. Mike Fullman is standing on his own 10. Terrell Farley is a dangerous blocker on punt situations. But Hernandez gets this one off. And it's a terrible kick. It's going to be down somewhere in the vicinity of the 34-yard line. Call it 10 yards on the punt. Nebraska leading by 7 when we return. Those guys had something in those lightning bolts on their helmets, huh? A couple of major upsets today. Backs out of the eye on 1st and 10. 13:20 to play in the 4th quarter. This is number 4, D'Angelo Evans, and there's a flag down at the 34-yard line.
They're going to call a clip. Eric Butler, the linebacker, for some reason was knocked down and either pushed in the back or clipped, and he didn't even have an opportunity to make a play on that. So I don't know why he was hit, especially when, once the back has an opportunity to get around him, there's no sense in blocking. Take a look right here. Number 48 gets pushed down from behind by Joel Makovica, the fullback. And that's what causes the penalty right there. But
illegal block in the back on the offense. It'll be a 10-yard penalty, and we'll replay 1st down.
If you're going to block from behind like that, you don't want to do it in the vicinity of an official. It's Byron Hanspart on the sidelines. He'll be one of the first guys in the whirlpool, that's for sure, after this ball game.
That's a 9th penalty today against Nebraska. So they have had some uncharacteristic mistakes offensively and defensively in terms of penalties.
Sets up 1st down and 22. 9 penalties, as you mentioned. Total of 79 yards. 3 wide receivers in. Evans is the back. Quarterback draw. Frost keeps it himself. Out to the 30-yard line. Gained about 4 or 5 on the play. Brought down by number 48, Eric Butler. Butler, the 6'1", 251-pound junior. 12:50 to play now in the 4th quarter. It is 2nd down and 16 for the number 5 ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers, who came into this game leading the Big 12's North Division. 4 wide receivers in for the Huskers. 2nd and 16. Frost is sacked at the 25. They got to him. Keith Cumbie, number 46, was one of the many tacklers on that play.
Cumbie was moved from linebacker to defensive end. He added about 20 pounds, and he's part of the rotation on this defense.
Sets up 3rd and 21, and look at what that Red Raider defense has done today.
2 fumbles recovered and the 1 big interception for a touchdown, Mark.
They've been opportunistic. 3rd and 21. Evans still on his feet.
Oh boy, and he lost his head on that one too.
Yeah, but the ground can't cause a head, right?
Something like
a fumble or whatever. 14-yard pickup, but the Cornhuskers will have to punt.
Well, you get an idea why people are so excited about him. There's a lot of comparisons to his stature to Emmitt Smith, and he looks a bit like Emmitt Smith, the way he works in and out. Broke all of Barry Sanders' rushing records in Wichita, Kansas at Collegiate High School.
Better put his hat back on.
Yeah, he might want to just buckle that thing a little tighter.
Jesse Cush into punt. Standing on the 24, Clint Robertson and Matt DeBuck back deep for Texas Tech. Cush with a very healthy 49.7-yard average today. Texas Tech doesn't decide to come after this. Punting with the wind this time. And it's fumbled. Brendan Holbein has it for Nebraska at the 14-yard line. The 2nd special teams gaffe by Texas Tech. They had one blocked, and this one is fumbled by Clint Robertson.
Again, the wind plays a major factor. Robertson set up under the ball. The ball sailed on him because the wind was behind the punter. And and he wasn't in a position to make the catch. Now they're moving the football back 5 yards because you can't advance a muff fumble. So it's from where he dropped the football, not from where it was recovered. Again, look at Robertson. He thinks he's in position. He realizes, oh no, this ball's taken off on me. Sails over his head. He's in horrible position. And right there is where the ball's going to be taken over by Nebraska.
We saw the wind play havoc with a kickoff for Texas Tech earlier. Evans is the deep back out of the eye. They give it to the fullback, Macavicka, and he fumbles it. Man, nobody can hang on to the leather thing today, huh? What's up with that?
That's right, Texas Tech's going to get this football.
Joel Macavicka, the sophomore fullback, fumbled it in the wide open field.
He's carrying it a little loosely right there. Big number 34 comes over and strips the football. That's a great play defensively by Monte Rager.
And Texas Tech will have possession of the ball. So the Red Raiders give it, and the Red Raiders take it away. They got it back.
Yeah, that ball, I mean, not only did he strip it, but then it just took off and shot like a cannon out of the end zone. Monte Rager, you know, he had a strip earlier in the game on Ahman Green. Dude, that's 2 fumbles he's caused today, 2 critical fumbles.
John, 4 turnovers for Nebraska today. And look at that thing pop out of there.
Whoa. Nobody could even get close to it.
Well, it'll be placed on the 3-yard line. And a look at a distraught Joel Macavicka.
Yeah, that's a time when champions, you know, this Nebraska team can throw the knockout punch to Texas Tech. And, you know, he's a very upset young man that he wasn't able to hold on to the football. He clearly just had the end zone right in front of him if Rager doesn't knock that ball away, Mark.
Macavicka had a brother, Jeff, who played at fullback for Nebraska a couple of years ago. You know, every time I look at Tom Osborne, I feel like voting for him. He's so stately. Surely not pleased with the performance of his team today with respect to turnovers. 4 of them in all.
4 turnovers, but 2 more that I can count up that have been on the ground today. Ohio State now 28-14. USC and Arizona State were tied there at 14 all.
Let's go downstairs to Dean Blevins with a comment on the coach.
You know, you mentioned Tom Osborne. I think sometimes he has taken a little bit of heat unfairly. He and his wife, Nancy, have founded the Tom Osborne and Nancy Osborne Endowment for Youth program. They work with the Lincoln Public Schools, and they find kids that are at risk, dropouts and others, and they hook them up with mentors. Some of them are players, some are not, and they promise to help these kids all the way through college if they stick with them.
All right, Dean, and that time, Byron Hanspard. Gain of 1 on the play. Jamel Williams making the tackle. And when you sit down and vibe and talk with Tom Osborne, I don't think you find a more sincere coach. Talks a lot about education and pays more than just lip service to it, I think. He's been a fixture in Lincoln for 26 years as the head coach. Still very energetic. See him on the treadmill every day running about 5 miles. Out of the end zone, incomplete, intended for Sheldon Bass. And it'll be 3rd down and long for Texas Tech. Mike Fullman providing coverage. Zebby Lethbridge is just 9 of 22 today for a total of 78 yards. And they are deep in their own territory on the 3. They need some positive yardage here. See what they've done in 3rd down situations today. Just under 500. And Spike Dykes knows that a win today would be huge for his program. Lethbridge needs 1 block. Has a 1st down at the 15. Zebby with a pickup of 12.
Boy, that play has worked twice today very nicely, Mark. Again, Lethbridge gets the football, drops back to his left side, and then fools the defense into thinking that's where he wants to throw the football. Watch how Lethbridge will get the football, go this way just a little bit, and then come back, and he gets a block. But watch what it does to the defense. See how they all go to the right? Good call, good safe call, especially into the wind, deep in your own territory.
1st and 10 at the 15. He fires incomplete, and a flag down may have been a late hit. I mean, Lethbridge got rocked after he got rid of it. Sheldon Bass was the intended receiver.
That's Jared Tomich again getting called, I believe, with a late hit. He's in disbelief.
Lethbridge is taking a pounding today.
Well, you know, whenever you run the option and you do so many things that they do with this offense, your quarterback is going to be at risk. And that's what, 10 penalties today, 94 yards.
Roughing the passer on the defense, striking above the shoulders, automatic, first down.
Oh, he went to the head.
Yeah, that's what's above the shoulders.
If there's anything else, we got a scoop. 17-10 with 9:28 to play in the 4th quarter. One more penalty for the Cornhuskers. Total of 10 now. He hands it off to Hanspard. It was brought down by Jared Tomich.
I don't think he isn't pumped up. He just cost his team 15 yards.
One of the 4 team captains, along with Mike Minter, Benning, and Dishman. A flag down on the play. He was a first-team All-American last year. He led the team in sacks a year ago as well. And this one will be against Texas Tech.
The interesting thing about Jared Tomich, Mark, is that he had a learning disability, and a lot of colleges shied away from him. He had trouble reading and retaining. If somebody else read to him, he was fine. But if he read something, he couldn't retain it. They worked with him. They put him on some special educational programs, and he's going to graduate with a major in communications. So he was frustrated in high school, and it's great to see Nebraska being able to work with him in this situation.
Yeah, his mom, Cheryl, will never forget the day when a coach from Purdue called and said he wasn't good enough to be in the program. Jared came out of his room crying, but it motivated him to become a better player. And that's what he's done. This pass is incomplete by Lethbridge on 1st and 22. It'll be 2nd and 22.
Yeah, Purdue could have used him today against Ohio State. He might have been the difference in that game.
Sure could. There are a lot of teams that could use Jared Tomich. Applying pressure on that play as well. 2nd and 22 for Zebby Lethbridge and Texas Tech with 9:05 to play in the 4th quarter. Texas Tech coming into this game unranked. Doing well against the highly ranked Nebraska Cornhuskers. Out of the eye, 4 wide receivers for Lethbridge. Fires incomplete at the 38-yard line. Well, a potent combination of quarterback Ryan Clement and receiver Magic Benton lead the Hurricanes of Miami as they welcome East Carolina into the Orange Bowl. East Carolina takes on Miami tonight at 7 Eastern, only on ESPN. Miami trying to get back on track after losing to Florida State last week. What about the 2 opposing players from Miami and Florida State, former high school teammates, making that bet and the NCAA having to look into it, huh?
Boy, they will look into everything, don't they? I mean, look at Casey Jones' situation here today. He's denied the opportunity to play for 6 games.
3rd and 22, blitz by Nebraska. And Hanspard can't hang on to it. Not sure it would have mattered.
Well, they're trying to set up a screen play, which is a pretty good call, but in this situation, there's just too much pressure on Lethbridge, and I don't think Hanspard would have been close to the first down had he caught that ball anyway.
Yeah, John, Lethbridge has missed his last 6 passes in a row. So the Red Raiders will have to punt from their own 18-yard line with 8:55 to play. Still very much in this game, but offensively, they don't have any rhythm at this moment. Jeremy Hernandez averaging 35 yards a punt today, and that's Michael Fullman. A dangerous punt return man. This is Damon Benning. Man, he put the brakes on, and Damon Benning has got wheels. Still on his feet. Damon Benning down to the 5-yard line. Man, he put the brakes on at the 40-yard line, stopped on a dime, and didn't leave Texas Tech any change.
Mark, that's about as athletic a move as I've ever seen with a punt returner. First of all, he had to catch a difficult punt that was into the wind going away from him. The catch itself was difficult. Look at a great catch he makes. Then he makes a cut on 28, Oscar Solis right here. I mean, he leaves him completely whiffing, accelerates to full speed, and that makes more people miss downfield.
It's nice to see Damon Benning finally healthy. He's in the backfield, and he gets the call here. Damon Benning down to the 3-yard line. He was telling me yesterday his favorite artist is Mary J. Blige, and as Mary would sing, I'm giving you the 411 right now. You got all the information you need about Damon Benning. He's a skilled runner. Look at his numbers last week against Kansas State. 135 yards rushing with 3 touchdowns. He's from Omaha, Nebraska. And right now he is at the top of his game as we look at an injured player down in the field. 17-10, the Huskers in scoring range when we return.
Is going to come in and hit him. What scares me is Butler's head's down a little bit. He walked off under his own power. Looked like he jammed his neck on that play, but that's where you can see that left shoulder. That's a pinched nerve when something like that happens, and he needed some help going off the football field. But that's that violent part of the game, fullback, linebacker, isolation blocks. That happens a lot during the course of a game.
For real men only. Damon Benning, the deep back out of the eye. He had that 51-yard punt return moments ago, and he fumbles it, but he gets it back. Just the way he planned it. Touchdown, Nebraska. A 3-yard run off the dribble by Damon Benning.
Well, I think it's only fitting that he complete that drive and score the touchdown after he set it up. But I know Tom Osborne has his hands on his hips, wondering what's going on with that pigskin today. Damon Benning was wide open on the option part of the game, and it seemed to me that the defense for Texas Tech overloaded on the quarterback and left him wide open. Watch the conversion on Scott Frost. Johnson's in there, number 7, quickly. But when a guy has time to pick the football up and score with it, you know nobody's in his face.
Chris Brown with the extra point and good. It's now 24-10. Nebraska leading. Damon Benning, number 21, said, hey, I'm healthy, I'm ready to play, and I got mad skills. Dig me. Nebraska leading when we return. 16 to play in the ball game. The native of Omaha, Nebraska.
You know, I played 11 years in the NFL. I never got to talk to anybody on the phone. What are these guys always talking? What are they doing? Why does a running back have to talk to somebody on the phone?
It's the post-touchdown pose, man.
Is that what it is?
Chris Brown kicking off to Stacy Mitchell and Clint Robertson. Big crowd on hand here today. The biggest crowd in Spike Dykes' tenure here at Texas Tech. And Chris Brown just airmails that one into the stands almost. Almost near where Dean Blevins is.
Yeah, I know, because as soon as I start to talk, these people are going to go nuts, right? These guys paid $25 a piece for these tickets, I think. Did you pay $25 for yours?
Actually, no, I didn't.
Yeah, but it is a large crowd. They've been excited one way or another, and I'm a grown man doing this for a living.
Hey, Dean, now, we saw you getting up to your vantage point there. A little bit of agility climbing over the top there, huh? You still got it.
Can't hear a word you said, but I'm sure it was really good.
The people's choice, Dean Blevins.
He'll do anything for a story, and right now the story is that hungry, thirsty, insatiable appetite by that Nebraska defense. Getting to the quarterback, Zebby Lethridge.
I'll tell you another part of the story here in the second half. Texas Tech is average starting on their own 17-yard line. Nebraska's average starting position has been on the Tech 46. Field position, such a key part of any football game, and Nebraska winning that field position battle here in the second half.
Field position, turnovers, containing Nebraska on first down. Second down and 5 for Lethridge. Incomplete. Almost picked off. Let's check in with Roger Twyble in New York on a USC update.
Thanks, Mark. You just saw the score, 21-14. Early in the fourth quarter, Brad Otten going to Chris Miller. Has he got possession? Looks like he doesn't. They counted it as a touchdown, 29 yards, and USC on top of ASU, 21-14. Mark?
Boy, it's nice to see USC play well against Arizona State in light of some of their problems out there.
Hey, that didn't even look close as far as possession. You got to be kidding.
3rd and 5 back here. Lethridge almost picked off by Michael Booker. Number 20, the 6'2", 205-pound senior, covering the receiver like a blanket that time.
You know, he's a guy that suffers from tendonitis in his knees. He doesn't always practice, but he's a great football player and a big part of this defense. You know, he's the Fiesta Bowl MVP with the interception for a touchdown against Florida. Again, though, that tendonitis just, you know, he can't practice all the time, and it might hurt his future in the pros. He's certainly a good cover guy.
Jeremy Hernandez, John, into punt. Hernandez has had one block today. Michael Fullman back deep for Nebraska. Hernandez gets it off. Fullman lets it bounce, and it takes a Nebraska bounce. It'll be down somewhere on Nebraska's side of the field. Earlier he had a 10-yard punt. This time Hernandez with a 24-yard punt. We'll be right back. Nebraska leading 24-10 with 7:17 to play in the fourth quarter. Texas Tech has not scored a touchdown offensively today. Their lone touchdown came courtesy of the defense. Robert Johnson on an interception return for a touchdown. D'Angelo Evans running up the middle, brought down at the 45-yard line, picking up 3 on the play. Don Abenshawn making the tackle. Look at the Tech offense resting on the sidelines. Time becoming a factor with them and their offensive coordinator, Rick Dykes, the son of head coach Spike Dykes.
And they're going to have to do something they're not used to doing. They only throw for about 130 yards a game. They're going to have to air it out if they want to get back in this football game. And, of course, Nebraska is simply going to try and run the clock out right now.
Now, they haven't been able to throw it downfield. Texas Tech coming on a blitz. Evans spinning like a record on a turntable. Brought down at the 44 by Abenshawn again. This time accompanied by Tony Daniels, number 86.
Well, as you said, it's a man sport, and that's where they go man-to-man more than any other situation in football.
3rd down and 5 for quarterback Scott Frost and the Nebraska offense. Frost still looking, puts his head down and got tackled at the 43. Short of the first down, so they'll have to punt. There have been some very violent collisions today on the field. Scott Frost comes away smiling from this one, surprisingly. Let's listen to it.
That's Ryan Donahue, 45, did a good job in pursuit of the quarterback and kept him from turning backfield. Jody Brown finally came in to make the big hit. But look at the field position. You know, Nebraska has started 4 times in the second half now in plus territory on their the other side of the 50-yard line. That's definitely helped them all game.
Jesse Cush, John, into punt. Standing on his 43. A high hanging spiral that goes into the end zone. Had the wind at his back and put too much leg into it. A 44-yard punt, and Texas Tech will start off on its own 20-yard line.
You know, one thing that's scary, watch this guy, 77, Adam True. He's 305 pounds, snaps the football, and he's the first guy down. He plays left tackle. But look at him just rumble down that football field. Look at him go. He's ahead of everybody. That's one of the things that the Texas Tech coaches said. Watch out for this guy. He's 305 pounds, and he leads the pack running downfield.
Nebraska's strength and conditioning program has a lot to do with the type of athletes they get on the field. Hanspard and Morris. They got Jones, and this is a catch complete at the 34-yard line. Number 82, Donnie Hart, with a 14-yard pickup and a first down. Clock stopped with 5:48 remaining in the fourth quarter. Booker making the tackle along with Terwilliger.
Well, if you had to ask me today what team would be more equipped to be able to come from behind and pass the football, I would have to say Texas Tech. Not that they do it exceptionally well. He's 10 for 28 today, Zebby Lethbridge is, but I think they have a little bit better offensive scheme and a little bit better quarterback who can deliver the ball in this type situation.
Well, they had the right idea coming into the game, but it's like Mike Tyson says, everyone's got a game plan until they get hit in the mouth. Lethbridge to pass. And he's sacked, hit in the mouth, back at the 27-yard line by Mike Rucker, who's played an outstanding game this afternoon. Number 84 can take a bow.
That's at least 3 hits that we've seen in the backfield today. Rick Dykes is the offensive coordinator, and, you know, It's son of Spike Dykes. A difficult situation for him as a first-year offensive coordinator to try to call plays here, but they're going to call timeout. Think about it.
The look of a pensive head coach. The next move is his as time begins to wind down. And off the top of their head now. Heard it enough times.
I was reciting it in my sleep last night. I heard it so many times. It almost makes you want to root against them, Mark.
A talented group on the field. 5:14 to play in the fourth quarter. Lethbridge brought down under a swarming sea of white and red. Nebraska red, that is.
Well, that's a mark of a champion. I mean, you know, they know a team is going to do. They have some players who can get in there and pressure the quarterback. And they came into this football game ranked third in rushing, third in rush defense, fifth in scoring defense, all the way down the line. But, you know, right here is where it all starts for them. Rushing and rush defense. And today, you know, they didn't put up the big numbers rushing, but their rush defense came through and their defense created turnovers.
Charlie McBride, the defensive coordinator, told us that the defense wasn't quite as good as last year's because of the injuries in the secondary, but they could be by the end of the year. Lethbridge on the run. Fires complete at the 43-yard line to the fullback, Sammy Morris, who caught a touchdown last week. Pickup of 20 yards, and Lethbridge is limping.
He is. And Texas Tech has to go for it now with 4 minutes, about 10 seconds left in the game. They're just short of the first down. And you have a quarterback limping. You have fourth down and 2.
Those are the ball on the 42-yard line, just beyond the 42. A look at a slimmed down Spike Dykes after triple bypass surgery this past summer. This game not for the weak of heart. He lost 50 pounds after the operation. Hansbard flagged down on the far side of the field. Hansbard down at the 45.
Yeah, they got him off sides once again. That's happened. That's about the one thing consistently Texas Tech has been able to do against this Cornhusker defense.
Warfield making the tackle for the defense. That's something Charlie McBride is going to talk to his team about, especially the two ends after this game.
Offside on the defense. Be a first down.
Spike's expression hasn't changed much throughout the afternoon.
Now, you know what I love about Spike Dykes, too, is the way he said a couple of years ago he started to schedule tougher opponents. He said, why schedule the creep ups? Get the tough opponents in here. If we lose, I don't care about my record. He said, I was born across the street. I'm going to stay here. I'm not going anywhere.
It's been a good move for him. Fumble. Lethbridge gets it back. Took a fortuitous bounce. Was knocked away by Jared Tomich, number 93.
Yeah, I think Tomich, ever since that personal foul call in the fourth quarter, has really upped his level of performance. Made a big play on first down a couple of drives ago. Gets his hand in there and swats the ball away. Great athletic move.
Those two guys, Tomich and Winstrom, really get upfield. It's incredible. Maybe two of the quickest ends in college football.
And they feed off one another. It's a competition between them that makes them so good.
2nd and 16. It'll be 3rd and about 19. Sacked back at the 39 by Jason Wilkes and Jamel Williams, number 28.
Yeah, I think it's 2 down territory here. Texas Tech calls a timeout, but they have to move Lethbridge in the pocket. He's taken 3 5-step drops. I mean, they're not that very deep, but the defense is all over him, so they got to find a way to try and get him to the left side of the football field. That's the open side, and see if he can make something happen.
Yeah, time is a factor right now, John, with 2:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. Invariably and inexorably, that Nebraska defense will wear you down. It hasn't been a pretty ball game for them this afternoon because of the number of penalties they've committed. But the bottom line is that they lead 24-10 with 2:45 to play. And that's the fullback, Schuster, going into the tunnel for Nebraska. Let's go downstairs to fight back after that miscue on the first play of the game. Backside pressure. Lethbridge sacked again back at the 33. The 6th sack of the afternoon. This time it was Grant Winstrom's turn.
And I'm really surprised that they're putting the punt team on the field. you know, trailing by 14 points with 2 minutes left in the game, one timeout left. I don't see where you can possibly get anything done by punting the football.
And as you look at Byron Hanspard, this loss will not change his perspective on football or the world. He's a very deeply spiritual man and a tough competitor. Fullman back to retrieve this punt. Catches it at the 21. Fullman tackled at the 28-yard line. A 7-yard return after a 46-yard punt. A tackle by Robbie Cartwright. Time permitting, folks, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. 24-10, Nebraska leading with 1:51 to play in the fourth quarter.
You know, you mentioned about Hanspard being spiritual. He doesn't get too high after the 200-yard games, and maybe after the 99-yard games, he doesn't get too low. He put the 2 fumbles on the ground that definitely hurt his team today. But one thing about his undying faith is that it's not going to get him too high during the high period or too low during the low period.
Well, he says that he'll use the Heisman if he wins it. Fumble! Texas goes, and
what he's doing?
You cannot commit a forward pass. Oh, there's so much linen on the field.
What's Tony Daniels thinking? I mean, come on, this isn't Australian football. What's he thinking there? What a great play.
Maybe he thought about drop kicking it through the goalposts.
Hey, Makovica now, you know, that's his second time he's coughed it up. He did it once around the end zone. Big hit on the inside. And that ball comes out from the hit. And then look, now watch this. Tony Daniels going forward. Look, it looked like a little foul shot, didn't it?
It looked like a jumper.
Yeah, Ryan Donahue came through and made a major hit. Watch 45, stepping up. Right there, the ball comes flying out. Now look at that. What's he? You can lateral backwards, not forwards. Come on, you know. Oh,
that's why he's playing defense. That's why he's playing defense.
You wait. He is going to get so much grief on Monday when they look at the film of this game.
They will bust on him big time. Meanwhile, Spike, you better go see the basketball coach here.
Pretty good form, though. He had the ball in his fingertips. He didn't have it in the palm. Saw his little wrist follow through. That's what they teach you.
Hey, 1:43 remaining. Down 14 points on the option. Hartsball. Lord Byron brought down at the 23-yard line. And
Mark, you played a lot of hoops. Tell me what.
Take a look at the wrist. You got to have the elbow in, aligned with the shoulders and the feet.
Okay.
And you've got to follow through with the wrist.
Oh.
He kind of stuck it a little bit. He could have followed through a little more. Oh boy.
Yeah, you know, I think he's a little tight from short range.
Yeah, he stuck it a little bit. He pulled the string. Hanspard over the century mark, averaging just 3.6 per carry, though. That's 13 consecutive games over 100. Into the end zone, and it's incomplete. Intended for the diminutive Stacy Mitchell. Covered by the equally diminutive Mike Fullman at 5'7". Boy, a matchup with the Giants on the corner. 5'5" against 5'7". It's incomplete, though, with 1:31 remaining in the fourth quarter.
I mentioned he's the third smallest player in football. Khalil Byers is 5'3". He plays for Kent State. Willie Smith at Navy is 5'4". And he's all of 5. There's a lot of people at 5'5", and I think they're all crazy to be playing football.
Third down and 2. On the slant. Hit him in the hands, and it's dropped. Bass. Covered by Booker. We have seen a lot of drop passes today from both teams.
Yeah, football's on the ground, whether it's fumbles, drop pass, drop kickoffs, drop punts. It's the football's been on the ground about 20 times today in one form or fashion by both teams.
1:27 to play in the fourth quarter. It's 4th down and 2 for Zebby Lethridge and Texas Tech. On the option, Hanspard tackled by Terrell Farley. Number 43 had something to say on that play.
He sure did. He started this game with an exclamation point, and he ends it with one. Terrell Farley, a guy who just does so much defensively with his speed, comes up and makes the biggest play in a football game now. I believe he's lined up right here. You'll see the speed coming over for Terrell Farley. And this is the side-to-side speed. Gets outside of the block, closes inside. It's only 4th and 2, but that's the end of the football game right there. Terrell Farley knows it.
You know, Charlie McBride told me earlier that Farley, when he blitzes so hard that the skin off of his eyeballs comes off. Not worried. I'm not sure where Coach McBride thought of that one, but it's a good visual. And that's how hard Farley comes. 1:21 remaining. And Nebraska is just going to burn some clock.
Yeah, they may be wise to think about what happened to Wisconsin today. Up 3 points in that football game. All they had to do was take a knee. They don't. They fumble the football. Northwestern comes back and wins. You keep the ball in your quarterback's hands.
Terrell Farley, the junior college transfer from Columbus, Georgia. As you mentioned, tremendous speed.
Yep. McBride said he plays as fast as he needs to be. In other words, if he has to get there, he'll get there. He's got the legs and the motor to get him there.
A demon on special teams, blocking punts, too. Last year he had a couple.
Yeah, Kansas State. I mean, the punter never even got it off. He just threw him down to the ground. I guess maybe the punter was worried about his average.
And don't forget, folks, next week, 3:30 Eastern Time, 2:30 Central, regional action on ABC. Virginia against Florida State, Ohio State, Iowa, Texas, Colorado. That's where we'll be. And Washington at Oregon, plus another Pac-10 game. Call your cable operator for the games available in your area.
We get these fools again. Oh, yeah, most definitely. And we can play with them.
Hanspard doesn't look too discouraged as we look at the Big 12 North Division standings. Colorado winners today.
Yeah, they beat Kansas today, so they're 3-0. There's a showdown coming down the end of the season, and Texas Tech's still in it. You know, we may see this rematch again later on this year in the Big 12 championship game.
Yeah, that game will be played in St. Louis, a game you'll see later this season on ABC. A big weekend coming up, December the 7th. 1:10 remaining and the clock running.
Another team we might see is Air Force. You know, they're in that mountain region of the WAC, and they knocked off Notre Dame today and are doing real well.
Yeah, the WAC championship game, another game you'll see on ABC on December the 7th. Tom Osborne, just another game, huh?
Number 236 under the belt. You know, he averages 10 victories a year. That's incredible over the span of his coaching.
In this era of college football, with the limitations put on recruiting and scholarships and the amount of time you can put in with athletes, it really is a monument to perseverance and hard work that he and his staff can maintain this level of the program. The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are Terrell Farley for Nebraska and Johnson, Robert Johnson, for Texas Tech. A victorious head coach, Tom Osborne. Chevrolet will donate $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and to assist those in financial need. It's been a Chevrolet tradition for more than a quarter of a century. The final score, once again, 24-10. Nebraska improves to 5-1 overall. And don't forget, if you miss the scores, hit AOL, keyword ABC Sports. Nebraska defeats Texas Tech.